This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 FM and iTalk1067.com. Also brought to you in part by Northland Pioneer College, Ace Hardware of the White Mountains, Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports, Deemer's Glass, Dealer.
Who sells the #1 truck in America? Sholo Ford. That's right. Not only do they sell it, Sholo Ford is the best place to buy it. Why? Guy Hatch guarantees it. In fact, he guarantees you'll get the best deal on your next Ford car, van, or SUV as well. It doesn't matter what you buy. Sholo Ford has the best deal. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
All right, well, very good evening, and thank you for joining us here from Payson High School, where the Blue Ridge Yellowjackets are playing for a region championship once again, trying to knock it off out of the Payson Longhorns' hands, as they are currently undefeated and in first place. But it gets pretty convoluted after that, as I'm Derek Palmer alongside Punt Cooley. And Punt, first off, I guess we got to talk about how awesome it should be for the state of small school football to have Blue Ridge back in a position like this after quite a few years on the layoff.
Yeah, absolutely. Back in the hunt. You definitely got to be rejoicing. Obviously, those folks in Pinetop Lakeside are for sure. You know, they've had a couple of games that were tough this year. They, of course, lost to Snowflake, whereas Payson tonight in an overtime game here in Payson a couple of weeks ago defeated Snowflake. So Payson is certainly going to give them a handful this evening. We can count on that for sure.
So we're taking a look at, well, actually, let's go ahead and hit right to the Ace Hardware keys to the game. Ace Hardware has a 24/7 locksmith. The next time you're locked out of your car or just need a key replaced any hour of the day or night, any night of the week, call Ace Hardware. Your help will place with 3 locations in Pinetop, Overguard, and Sholo. And we're going to start with the Blue Ridge quarterback and B.J. London, who's thrown for almost 1,900 yards, good for more than 200 a game, but 8-6 touchdown to interception ratio. He does try to go deep quite often, and sometimes he gets burned.
And sometimes we've seen in prior games he'll try to fit those passes into pretty tight windows. And Payson, obviously, a bigger defense, certainly up front, so he's going to have to be a little bit careful with his delivery tonight against that secondary of Payson.
Well, his favorite target is Damon Mitchell. He'll also come out in the backfield, but he makes his biggest impact as the primary receiver for London, where he's caught for 44 yards per game. Interestingly, just a couple of touchdowns. One of them came in the very first ball game against Winslow, where he was able to really get some separation, especially in the first half.
Well, Mitchell, of course, also in the backfield with London. The combination of London and Mitchell accounting for a big chunk of their rushing offense as they come into tonight's game.
So we take a look over at the other side for the Longhorns, where Trevor Klein, who's thrown for 1,600 yards, an 18-3 touchdown to interception ratio, but he's also rushed for 90 yards a game. And one of the reasons why I highlight London having a much more narrow touchdown
You've been there waiting for
is because Klein also plays free safety, and we watched him really hurt Sholo with a couple of picks.
Yeah, he's an athletic kid for sure. Defense, they rely on him, as you say. He likes playing that center field position. Of course, I don't know, by being a quarterback, maybe that gives him a little bit of a advantage too, but he's certainly athletic, has come up big for the Longhorns this season.
And another big playmaker for the Longhorns is Jesse Conway. He's caught 85 yards per game, 10 touchdowns. Both of these two guys are really big. They really provide physical mismatches for the Longhorns in just about every ball game. But how is Blue Ridge, do you think, going to match up for him along those lines?
Well, he is a tall receiver, and we picked up on that in the Sholo game. We saw where Klein isn't afraid to throw to Conway even in coverage because of Conway being so tall. He can get up and get those high passes. So Blue Ridge, you know, PJ also plays in the safety position, so that'll be an interesting mix. But for the most part, Conway should have a height advantage again tonight against that secondary of Blue Ridge. So it'll be interesting to see what they try to do with him.
Talked to the Blue Ridge staff a little bit. They said that they are going to keep a linebacker, but as a spy on Klein. And it is going to be interesting as they potentially could really open things up all over the middle for Conway if they're going to have to keep somebody making sure that Klein isn't going to start running amok, because as we saw against Sholo, he is apt to do so.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. You know, Klein being, of course, their leading rusher coming into, well, really all season for the Longhorns, and he can be a productive runner. You know, their offense, nothing really too fancy in terms of when they do use him as a runner. They pretty much have him go right up the middle. with a little bit of a read option sometimes out on the edge. But Blue Ridge is going to have to play tough up in between the tackles tonight if they're going to try to limit his production offensively.
All right, so those are the Ace Hardware keys to the game. Ace Hardware has a 24/7 locksmith. The next time you're locked out of your car, just need a key replaced any hour of the day or night, any night of the week. Call Ace Hardware, your helpful place for 3 locations in Pine Top, Overgard, and Show Low. Going to send it down to Neil Yazzie, who's going to toss this one up.
All right, congratulations, guys. All right, for the postseason stuff coming up. Okay, remember, you guys are chosen captains. I want you guys to help us with anything that's necessary that we can't control, that you guys can control as well. Okay, you guys have been given instructions by your coaches. If you win the toss, you guys have to defer or to receive or whatever you guys elected to choose. Okay, speaking captains number 10 and number 32. Okay, you guys are the visiting team. That's heads, and that's tails. Call it in there loud enough so that my umpire and number 32 hears it. Okay, here we go. Tails. Okay, heads it is. Heads won the toss. Okay, what would you like to do? Defer. So they won the toss. They elected to defer. Okay, so which goal would you like to defend? You want to kick that goal because it's a turnaround. Blue Ridge is receiving. Okay, gentlemen, go ahead, shake hands. Good luck.
There you got it. Payson is going to take it in the second half. Blue Ridge wearing yellow hats, white shirts, purple pants, is going to get the football here, trying to initiate a 3-way tie in the 3-way East that would send everything to conference percentage, winning percentage, to determine who is going to get the automatic bid out of the East. All Payson really needs to do at this point is just thinking about this as a tournament game already. Going to win. They know that they're going to be in. Not going to leave it up to any sort of mathematics that is going to determine whether or not they're going to be in there. But they got a tough row to hoe here because these Yellowjackets are looking a little bit more vintage. So Payson is going to kick it away. They're wearing black. Got some matte black helmets with some black tops and some black pants and, of course, purple numbers, which is going to make it a little bit of a challenge to see from this neck of the woods. But they look dope. And that's what matters.
Our spotter, Caldwell, has his work cut out for him. He's got his binoculars, though, so we should be in good shape. Well, one thing we will notice, of course, Payson has a pretty good sized line, defense and offense. Blue Ridge, certainly not. They don't have tiny linemen, but size-wise, and we saw that in the Payson game against Sholo, where after a while, as the game went on, it appeared that that bigger line just has a way of wearing out the opponent. So Blue Ridge is going to have to really battle in the trenches tonight, and we'll just have to keep an eye on how strong they finish.
We also have our senior field correspondent, Ron Everingham, who is going to have a Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center injury report for us. We'll do that right after the kickoff here. As the Northland Pioneer College kickoff reminds you when it's time to kick off your college education, choose the college with the lowest tuition in Arizona. That is Northland Pioneer College. Is back to kick this away is Dominguez. To receive this for the Yellowjackets is Wallace as he retreats and has this one actually Mitchell inside the 10 as he's going straight up the floor. He lops the football as it's loose, and Payson thinks it's got it.
They do.
It's recovered by Chance Zale. Payson will have the football at the 25-yard line of the Yellowjackets. What a huge swing here to start things off.
Certainly not the start the Yellowjackets were looking for with the opening kickoff. Payson will take over, as you say, at the 25-26 of Blue Ridge with their first possession.
So they're going to have outstanding field position as they already come out wide with Jesse Conway split wide on the right near the sideline. Using the shotgun, Klein empties the backfield as he's going to take this one and get wrapped up almost as soon as he had the ball in his hands. Loss of 3.
Well, Blue Ridge rushes 3 on that with the blitzing linebacker, but just good lane management by those defensive tackles of Blue Ridge. You can see the quarterback Klein as soon as he gets the snap trying to find a seam to run into, but just great defensive penetration up front by the Yellowjackets.
Move back to the 28-yard line. Second down and 13. Conway still split wide on the right side in a 4-receiver set. This time going to hand it off to Alcorta, beg your pardon, who's going to try to get up the right side, but there's not much doing. And he might have gained 1, maybe 2 yards.
And again, up front, the defensive line for Blue Ridge, just outstanding work, led by number 71, Ronan Palmer, right in the middle of that defensive line, just doing an outstanding job.
So now in an obvious passing situation, looking at, well, they give him 3 yards. Make it 3rd down and 10. Keeping an eye on Conway, near sideline. As they again empty the backfield for Klein, who asks for the football, drops back short, pressured, looking to the far side. He's got a man open toward the end zone, but it's just overthrown and incomplete.
Well, he did lead the receiver into the end zone, just a little too deep, as you'd mentioned, for him to get to it. Following in coverage for the Yellowjackets was Jacob Kern, number 5.
The intended receiver was Shepard, and he looked like he had a pretty good opportunity, and instead of going for it on 4th and 10, they're going to attempt now a pretty long field goal, which would be 44 yards.
Yep.
Dominguez is going to attempt this biggin as the snap is down and the kick is away. It might have enough distance. Just short.
Yep.
So the Yellowjackets dodge a bullet.
Great defensive stand by the Jackets. They stuffed that running game, which we talked about earlier. So we'll see how they respond here on their first offensive possession.
What kind of shot in the arm is it, though, especially as the offense comes out having lost the football and realizing that they didn't really lose much?
For sure.
Taking over for the first time now with 10 minutes and 36 seconds, really basically right where they were when they had fumbled the football at the 20-yard line following the miss. So the Yellowjackets coming out with P.J. London ready to operate as the quarterback. He's got Mitchell deep in the offset eye as London goes under center. Everybody close to the line of scrimmage for the Longhorns as Mitchell is wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. Salas there with the stop.
Yeah, number 53, Soto Salas. Quick penetration at the defensive line. Whatever block was attempted on him, he just completely blew up. Well, actually, he wasn't even blocked. And he goes in quickly to wrap up Mitchell.
Big dude to miss. Come on out. Listed at 220, but that might have been before a few dinners there in the summertime. He's looking pretty big now. Again, going under center with Mitchell. And no, there's London from the shotgun as he's got the snap rolling to his right. Now he's under pressure, but runs into his own blocker right at the line of scrimmage. No gain, and that looked like it might have had a chance to go upfield, but he ran right into one of his linemen.
Well, he rolls out right, does London, with some receivers going on slant routes out towards that sideline, but it doesn't take him long to start looking for a place to run. He did try to cut back when he did run into his lineman, but as you mentioned, really no gain on that carry for London.
Wallace, the single man split wide left. Mitchell is in the backfield. Fake the give to him, this time rolling to the left, but a man open in the flip, instead going to go back toward the middle of the field where it's caught by Slaughter over the 30 and has an upward down the last first down.
Yeah, that's Cox, number 88 for Blue Ridge. Great job by London finding Cox in the middle of the field behind the linebackers in front of the safeties and hits them right in the numbers.
All right, so 1st and 10 after the chains move out to the Blue Ridge 31 from the shotgun. London tries to turn around, hand this one to Mitchell, who's going to find a seam going up the middle over the 40 and tackled down at the 44. Another Mount Mobile Autoglass first down as we send it down to Ron Everingham for the Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center injury update.
Yeah, I had a chance to talk with both coaches. No injuries to report pregame, but we'll have an eye on it during the game. I just wanted to mention that Coach Burke had a big concern with keeping P.J. London in the pocket, and so that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out this game.
All right, thank you, Ron. You got to see that when London gets into the pocket this time, he's just going to grab and throw to Mitchell. Going to try to make one man miss, does so to get to midfield, and he's into Payson territory over the 45 and tackled forward to the 44 for another Mountain Mobile Autoglass first down.
Well, that's just Mitchell beating coverage. You had a outside linebacker look like and a quarterback come up, and they just miss him right there. Good, nice little block in addition by Jimmy Wallace to free up the runner Mitchell as he gets the first down.
Moving to the Longhorn 43, 1st and 10 as the handoff is given to Galindo, who goes down to the 40, maybe the 39, picks up 3.
That's just good line surge on that left side. Galindo falling in right behind those big linemen.
Well, this one started off with the Longhorns really defending the front pretty well, but on 3rd and 10, they were able to find Cox for an 11-yard strike. And since then, that conversion on 3rd and 10, it's been all Blue Ridge. As this time they hand off again. No, he's going to pull it back and try to get some room on the left side over the 30. He's got the first down. He sits at the 20 and now down inside the red zone at the 14. A big 25-yard pickup for P.J. London and another Mountain Mobile Autoglass first down.
Just a classic option run off on that left side. Good read by P.J. London with that end crashing into the dive back. And he finds plenty of room to get to the sideline for the first down.
7 minutes, 15 seconds to go in the first quarter as Mitchell gets the call trying to go to the right side, but he is bottled up as there's nothing doing. Make it now second down, and, well, I guess they're going to say his forward progress took him out to the...
Cyrus Krieger, number 55 for Payson, and on the tackle. He and a couple of those defensive linemen for Payson, that time doing a good job of just sliding down the line of scrimmage and plugging gaps.
Mitchell again deep in the eye. Single man coming to the near side is instead it's going to be Mitchell, who's this time stopped in the backfield, and a big shot.
Is that number 5? Hard to see. Aiden Orman blitzing in. You can see him cut right through the seams there on the offensive line and able to grab up Mitchell in the backfield for the loss.
So another 3rd and long. This time, though, well within field goal range for London, who serves as the kicker as well. But that one big 3rd down conversion, the 11-yard hookup between London and Cox, kept the drive going and now has him in the red zone threatening. Galindo's going to be the deep back, standing behind London in the pistol formation. As a man comes in motion right to left, London with the snap looking to the left. Now he's pressured. So trying to flee to his left, looking for the corner. He's going to catch it, turn upfield, and get tackled out of bounds right around the 10. He turned what looked like it was going to be a big loss into a short gain, but it'll be 4th down.
Shepard and Orman on the coverage defensively on London as he hits the sideline. Orman in particular, no, it's Shepard. No, that's a clean tackle right at the sideline, but leaves Blue Ridge with a choice here, as you mentioned, the 4th down. Looks like they're going to be going for it.
4th down and 6. It's got Austin Slaughter in the slot on the right side, and now some more movement, sending more players to the right side as he has the snap to London, just trying to outrun everybody behind some blockers. Now forced to get to the sideline where he stood up near the 10, and right around the 5. I don't think he got enough.
That was a good hit on the perimeter by one of the linebackers, number 15, I think. 32, Porter Flake. Well, we can see it on the replay here. Yeah, that is Porter Flake. Great hit on London, and that stops his momentum. That's the tackle that made the difference in terms of stopping PJ.
Well, the gamble sense does pay, though, because now the Longhorns are going to come out and start on their own 5-yard line. 1st and 10, they could not get anything going forward after recovering the fumble following the opening kickoff. So Klein will try to keep this one, looking for some room as he goes toward the left of the line, but he has stopped shy of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, no room. Marabello in there along with one of the linebackers came up quickly. Heisler, I believe it was. Anyway, just great work by Blue Ridge. They definitely have practiced this week looking for Klein, and they've so far done a great job of shutting him down.
We watched Klein play Sholo, and he was also trying to exploit the left side of that line, but it's a much different ball game here coming up against the Yellowjackets front, as he's again going to use the shotgun with a man behind him. Quick toss as he wants to come back over to Conway, but it airmails and over his head, and I don't think Conway was ready. He was not running that route.
Well, if he would have given him just a second, he might have been open, Conway, but for some reason, Klein cut loose with that pass really early in the route. I'm not sure if he was sensing pressure. Blue Ridge is only rushing 3. They have 3 down linemen. So Klein looked like he had a little bit more time to set up for that pass.
3rd and 11. Klein in single coverage on the outside here with Jimmy Wallace toward this near sideline again. As again, Klein wants to try to pressure. He's caught now in the end zone, and it's a safety. Marbello gets him.
That's a corner blitz.
Oh, it looks like they're going to say he got out of the end zone with the forward progress. Nope, there it is. The signal is up in safety.
That's a corner blitz from the. You can see Marbello coming in around the end, blocking the offensive end, and just did a great job of getting. You got to get when you're blitzing like that. You got to get to the ball quickly, and Marbello did just that. Great job by him.
Klein now, who again is averaging 90 yards a game in the first 2 series, is gone 3 times for -8 yards, and then times stopped in the end zone for a safety. And it looks like this pressure that Blue Ridge is throwing at him, and maybe it's just the pressure of playing for a region championship, has got him a little bit in the head.
Well, you know, they're defensively setting up with that 3-man front, and with the linebackers, those first 2 sets of defenders, the defensive line and the linebacker so far just doing an outstanding job against that Payson running game.
Marbello with that stop right now in the early lead for the Deemers, glass shattering hit of the game, as this is also going to force the Longhorns now to go back to their own 20 to deliver to a Blue Ridge offense that looked like it was firing on all cylinders prior to getting into the red zone. A 4th down stop, and you can see the gamble paying off there as the Longhorns had not much room between themselves and their end zone, and they're 2 points now on the board because of it. Dominguez is in to kick it away as Mitchell is waiting. And this one a little bit shorter as he's going to run up and take this one at the 30. He's got some blockers in front of us. He's at the 40, 45. Now scores through. He's at 50 and now in the open field. 40, 30, 20. Nobody's going to get him as he's at the 10-5 touchdown Blue Ridge.
Well, that's just a classic wedge setting up inside. Mitchell does the perfect run. He just gives them time to set up, shows some patience, and then once he finds that little seam, he turns on to speed and just basically outruns the Payson defenders on that coverage. On the replay here, you can see that wedge, and he just goes right up the middle, and he gets through that second level of defenders on the coverage, and then he's gone from there.
London in to attempt the extra point, and this, I think, is not what anybody was expecting.
Especially after that opening kickoff turnover. Great turnaround for the Yellowjackets.
Snap is a little wide, but it's down, and the kick is good. London in with the extra point as it is 9-0. Blue Ridge leading Payson here in first quarter with 4 minutes and 24 seconds to play. You're listening to Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
Who sells the #1 truck in America? Sholo Ford. That's right. Not only do they sell it, Sholo Ford is the best place to buy it. Why? Guy Hatch guarantees it. In fact, he guarantees you'll get the best deal on your next Ford car, van, or SUV as well. It doesn't matter what you buy. Sholo Ford has the best deal. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
9-0 after the safety, and then Blue Ridge is able to take in the extra, or the kick following the short kick that was taken by Mitchell at the 35-yard line, and he goes 65 yards on the return to give the Yellowjackets this 9-0 lead. Still in the first quarter, but the bigger story right now is after the fumbled kick to start the ball game, the Longhorns don't have a first down. Klein 0 for 2 and has rushed for -8 yards. Is now back and ready for this Northland Pioneer College kickoff is Conway. This one angling away from him as he's going to come back and catch it on a knee at the 5. And the Longhorns right now are melting down.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he lost it in the lights or whatever, but he goes down to the ball on his knees, so that he's going to be down where he catches it, as you mentioned, right at the 5-yard line. So it's going to leave Payson in a big hole here.
When it is time to kick off your college education, choose the college with the lowest tuition in Arizona. That's Northland Pioneer College. As now, after that kickoff, the Longhorns again pinned on the 5. Trying to keep an eye on Conway, who's again closest to the sideline here. Trips coming to the right side as Klein's using the shotgun and again going to keep. Trying to get a little bit of space, but he's met in the backfield. Hesitates now as he spins away from another tackler and is able to fight his way over the 5-yard line and get it down to the 7 or 8. It's a tough way to gain 2 or 3 yards, though.
Yeah, Ryan Cox along with Ronan Palmer in the finish tackle there, but early penetration by one of the defenders for Blue Ridge. Cox was able to get in there early and put his mitts on Klein, just could not bring him down.
Second down. Well, they're going to say he gained 5 yards on that one. That's a tough way to gain 5 yards. Same formation now as he is going to try diving up the middle, but is again met in the backfield. Palmer is back there as well as Mincy, who's going to stop him for very little gain, if any.
Herschel Gregg also with good penetration from his linebacker position.
This is a
good game tackling by the Blue Ridge defense.
Payson doesn't have necessarily a big strike offense. So if they're going to be able to keep this one close, it would behoove the Longhorns to move the chains here as they're facing 3rd and 5 on the 10. Sending trips again to the right side. Single back standing to Klein's left, who's going to take a short drop. Look to the left, now back to the right side where it was overthrown and incomplete.
Number 10 for Payson, Flores, the intended receiver, and he did a little hook route initially, but then Klein threw it deeper, way over his head, trying to get him to go down the sideline, it looked like.
Jimmy Wallace is standing between the Payson 40 and 45-yard lines, already leading 9-0. Clock stopped at 2:58 to play in the first quarter. Conway is going to kick, and there's some pressure being shown from the Yellowjackets as this one is a low snap, but Conway's able to get it high, short kick is angling out of bounds, and it looks like it's going to be excellent field position for Blue Ridge. Is already walking inside the 40 and inside the 35 and inside the, right at the 30, maybe 31. So excellent field position after a short kick. Looked like it was hooked by Conway. And 1st and 10 deep in Payson territory to start, already leading 9-0. Here come the Yellowjackets. Got P.J. London at 3 for 3 for 37 yards. 2 of his passes have gone to Mitchell and another to Cox. And really that's the play of the ball game right now, as that moved the chains on 3rd and long after stopping the Longhorns. As now they're going to hand it off. Mitchell trying to get to the right side, but he is bottled up.
Yeah, he runs into a wall of defenders for Payson there, led by number 5, Aiden Ormond. A couple of defensive linemen as well. Just not a lot of room on that run play for Mitchell. But interestingly, also, seems like so far in this football game, Blue Ridge offensively has been putting P.J. London under center on just about every snap.
Going to give Mitchell 2 yards on that one. So move it inside the 30. Guess we'll call it 2nd and a short 9. As an offset eye is behind London. Man in motion coming from the right to the left, and instead handed off coming to the left from Mitchell, who again dives over this time to the left side of the line, but very short gain as Klein was there with the stop. Another 1-yard carry for Mitchell, but it sets up a 3rd and long, and Blue Ridge right now might be thinking that it's got Payson right where it wants him. They've been very successful on these 3rd and long opportunities. And let's see what they want to do with the pocket now, as London again going under center. He's got Mitchell behind him. Wallace split wide to the right. Man in motion again coming to the near side. This is a short drop. London's got to step away from one tackler. Now starts directing blockers as he's over the 30 to 25, bounces it further outside to the 20 and right near the sticks, but I think he might have the first down.
Well, and one of the blockers he was directing was number 20, Jose Galindo, who puts a great block on a pursuing linebacker or cornerback and frees up room for PJ to be able to squeeze out an additional few yards. Even though he's going to be left short here, there's no way he could have got to where he ended up going out of bounds without that block by Galindo.
39 yards now on 5 carries for London. 4th down and less than a yard with 1.5 minutes to go. Big formation as they're going to hand it off to Mitchell, who tries going over the left side of the line. He needed about a foot, and he got a yard.
Just good surge, line surge there, and Mitchell again falling in behind. One of the linebackers for, again, these Payson numbers, it's purple on black, so it's hard for us to pick it up. But one of the Payson linebackers able to finish him off on the tackle, but not until he did get that first down.
And another inability by the Payson defense to prevent big yardage on 3rd and long sets up that Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first time. Now a short drop from London and throws that one off the deck. Wallace can't get underneath it before it hits the grass, so incomplete to stop the clock in 1 minute and 7 seconds to set up 2nd and 10. There's the first miss from London.
Well, in that pass, I think from PJ, he intentionally threw a little bit behind because he could see the break from that corner coming up. So he wanted to put it in a place where to keep it away from the defender.
Wallace again split wide left as the handoff this time goes to Galindo, who tries to counter coming back to the right side, but nothing doing. And it'll be 3rd and long with less than a minute to go.
And that's a counter right into the middle of the line, and those defensive linemen for Payson just doing a good job of sealing off that inside counter, as you'd mentioned.
With the struggles that the Longhorns have had offensively, there's very little reason to think that Blue Ridge won't just go for it here. Already leading 9-0, 3rd down and 9. As everybody's near the line of scrimmage, Mitchell now is going to come out of the backfield in motion to the right side as London rolls to the right, looking like he wants to throw, but now he's under pressure. He starts retreating back to the 35 and brought down at the 37.
Man. That's a big loss there, big mistake by PJ. He was rolling out, as you mentioned, on that right side. And instead of just keep going, even if he went out of bounds, you can see him turn around here and just runs out of room. Great pursuit by Christensen. And apologies to the Christensen family. We've been, up to this point, calling him Aiden Ormond, who's on the roster, and it's not Ormond that's been making all these tackles. It's Travis Christensen for the Payson Longhorns.
That is a 16-yard loss, and that might change the way the Yellowjackets want to approach 4th down. So they're going to be facing 4th and 22, but leading 9-0 to start the 2nd quarter. 9-0, Blue Ridge is up. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
Who sells the #1 truck in America? Sholo Ford. That's right. Not only do they sell it, Sholo Ford is the best place to buy it. Why? Guy Hatch guarantees it. In fact, he guarantees you'll get the best deal on your next Ford car, van, or SUV as well. It doesn't matter what you buy. Sholo Ford has the best deal. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
You've been there waiting forever at the gas station for the guy to free up so he can fill up your propane tank. Or worse, when the only qualified propane technician decided to stay home that day. Yep, you've been there and I have too. That's why now I get my propane from Ace Hardware every time. You get Ace Hardware's world-famous customer service when you stop in for propane. That's right, you get in, you get out, and you get a great deal on propane and everything else. From Ace Hardware at their locations in Pine Top and Heber. Ace Hardware is proud to support White Mountain sports.
9-0 Blue Ridge is leading here to start the second quarter, facing 4th and 22 after a 16-yard loss. And it looks as if London is going to attempt again to pin the Longhorns deep. Jesse Conway is back to receive, standing at his 10-yard line. The last two possessions have started at the 5s. There, a low snap, but had now kicked short and takes bounces pretty much straight up in the air.
Well, it came off Galindo. It looked like number 20 for Blue Ridge on the coverage, but they will end up, Blue Ridge will down it at the Payson 11.
So still not great field position for the Longhorns, but better than the 5. As they're going to start on their own 12, and they got to do something here to move the sticks. 3 opportunities. They've ended in a one missed field goal, a safety, and a punt that was hooked out of bounds for very little yardage. Klein's working from the shotgun. Got a man behind him in the pistol fake to give. Now he's going to have a little bit of space as he steps away from one tackler and is stopped at the 15. He gains 3. Now that gets him into positive yardage on the day, but just 1 yard on 6 carries for a player that's averaging 90 yards a game.
Well, that looked like maybe a little bit of a broken play exchange between the quarterback and one of the backs. Klein ends up obviously keeping and just does a reverse pivot, runs into the defensive.
2nd down and 7. Conway moves off to the right side, single man in that direction. Looks like they're trying to give a couple more blockers here in the backfield as they're going to wind up and try to find Conway, which might have been intercepted. Jimmy Wallace did intercept it as that pass was well outside of Conway's grasp.
I'm not sure if we can get a replay of that, but you can see Wallace on his coverage. Here's the replay for those watching the stream. You'll see the cornerback come up on the slide. Really not a good pass from Klein. You can see the receiver not even in close, and just a great read by Wallace to get the pick.
Longhorns now, again, playing for a region championship against this Blue Ridge team that it's been quite a few years since they had been playing for similar accolades, and it looks like, again, I talked about it before the ball game, that this is a vintage Blue Ridge performance where they're really ringing in the Longhorns' heads as London walking up and down, now back into the shotgun formation. As he takes a high snap, he's going to have to just go down with it. So consecutive sacks for the Payson front.
Well, that's good penetration from all of the front of Payson. Those defensive ends in particular staying out wide. You know, we heard Ron talk about earlier, one of the keys for Payson was to try to keep London in the pocket. And you can see those defensive ends for Payson really staying out wide, staying in their lanes to force London inside.
Wallace split wide right along with Mitchell. From the shotgun, London gives it to Marbella, who's going to find a little bit of a crease as he goes hurrying up the middle from the right to the left side and eventually brought down inside the 20.
Alacorte in on the tackle for Payson. But a nice little quick burst from Marbello to get a nice gain for Blue Ridge right up the middle there.
So last couple of running plays have seen Galindo and Marbello out there as they split Mitchell wide right. He's been, thus far, the most dangerous playmaker, as he is again going to be out in the slot. Galindo is in the backfield as he's going to offer blocking help. Short drop here as they're trying to find a man cutting across in a slant pattern, but Esparza cannot get underneath it.
That was a nice window to throw through for London. He could see Esparza cutting into the middle, but he just a little low on the pass. Otherwise, he would have had Esparza open right as he hit the end zone.
No, I think the Yellowjackets are thinking along the lines that I have been, is they've just not been able to give these Longhorns much to work with, so they're going to go for it now on 4th and 6. Fake the handoff, roll to the right. London looking upfield. He's down. There's a flag in the backfield. He's going to throw it to the end zone. It's intended for Esparza, but no good, incomplete, and a flag is in the vicinity of holding.
I mean, that's a nice pass by London to put it in that little lane where Esparza, you can see the defenders following the receiver.
Holding, Blue Ridge. That penalty has been declined. 1st down and 10, Payson.
Longhorns are only down 9-0. I mean, haven't been able to get out of their own way offensively. The defense, outside of allowing that special teams touchdown, has played admirably considering what the offense has been able to contribute. but if they can get a drive going here, I mean, this game is still young. They just have not yet been able to move the chains. They got a safety, they got a turnover, they got a missed field goal, and they got a bad punt. If they can get a first down, it'd be interesting to see what that does for their momentum. As Klein takes the snap, hands it off to Shepard. He's got to make some men miss in the backfield and is able to get it upfield for a couple of yards. But, again, there's some positive yardage now. What can the Longhorns do with it?
Yeah, Herschel Gregg, the inside linebacker for Blue Ridge, made initial contact deep in the backfield right there. Good penetration by him, just not able to make the tackle, and then Muncie comes up to finish him off.
Big crowd here for the Longhorns, standing room only, going along the sideline and then into the end zone. So a lot of people are here excited to see the Longhorns put something together now as they're facing 2nd down and 8. Again, handed off this time. Cortez is going to try to find some room, but he's spun inside the line of scrimmage and brought down by Muncie.
That's a great tackle. Muncie reaching out to get the back again in the backfield. Good penetration. Blue Ridge.
Orthodontist.
They have 3 men up front, and those 3 are doing a great job of penetrating into the backfield of the Longhorns.
Conway seems to have come off the field on a passing situation. So split wide out to the far side is Shepard. As Klein takes a snap, drops back with time, now goes over the middle where it was behind his intended man and brought down hard by London.
That's a high pass to get it to the receiver, but as you say, perfectly timed hit by London. You can even see him stutter step. I don't know if you can see this on the replay, but he delays his hit perfectly to get there right as the receiver is reaching up for the ball.
I don't think that was going to have the distance, even had it been complete. So now 4th and 11. Klein now 0 for 5 with an interception and 1 yard on 6 carries as Conway is out to kick. Jimmy Wallace. Oh, and a snap goes into the end zone. And
did he touch it? We're trying to figure out. No, that's a touchdown. Yeah.
Conway had the snap go by him.
Major mistake. Big error there by the punter.
It's down and it rolls between his legs, and then he didn't grab it. I think he thought it was like a touchback. As diving on that is London, and it's already up. A touchdown scored rather miraculously by the Yellowjackets. Rather generously offered by the Longhorns.
Well, we talked about the horrible start for Blue Ridge fumbling the opening kickoff, but since then Blue Ridge has just been putting it on, and then Payson now with a huge mistake in their own end zone, resulting in the touchdown for Blue Ridge.
I was waiting for him to knock it out of bounds. He was down there looking at it.
That's
like
what
it was
I thought.
snake.
He was waiting for it to roll out or something.
I think he just momentarily thought that this was much like a touchback. Once it goes into the end zone, he didn't need to make a play on it.
Well,
instead,
and as Mike said, he does return work for Payson, and maybe he thought by just letting it roll it was the same on either end of the field.
So obviously. A huge turn of events. There's 16-0. Blue Ridge leads with 8 minutes and 14 seconds to play in the half. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
When you think glass, think Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. Deemer's Glass offers the best selection of quality glass with affordable prices. They do full home window packages, replacement windows, custom shower doors and enclosures, custom mirrors in many shapes, styles, and colors, glass doors and hardware, commercial glass for buildings and offices, skylights, screens, fire-rated glass for your fireplace or stove, window film, and more. Visit Deemer's Glass today on Porter Mountain Road in Lakeside or call 1-888-GLASSMAN.
16-0 now. Blue Ridge leading after another Payson miscue. Blue Ridge now has scored 2 special teams touchdowns, one on a kickoff return, and then that one after a bad snap is not fallen on or knocked out of the end zone by Conway, who's back to receive this one, incidentally, right near where he was when he was punting. He runs up and catches this one. Now has a little bit of room to run as he gets over the 30 and down at the 32. So this is the best field position that Payson has seen since the Longhorns recovered the fumble on the opening kickoff. But still looking for the first down. Trevor Klein, who averages, he's thrown for 1,600 yards on the season, and he is 0 for 5 with an interception. He rushes for 90 yards a game. He has been good for 1 yard on 6 carries. No first downs yet for the Longhorns, but again, they're just trailing 16-0. They just really got to get that first down to see what the offense can do. As here's Alcorta, tries to go on a little bit of a delay up the middle, does get a yard or 2, but not a lot.
Herschel Gregg, the middle linebacker for Blue Ridge, coming up quickly to put the hit on the runner right at the line of scrimmage or just shortly after the line of scrimmage. Again, Blue Ridge just doing outstanding work so far in this game. We're in the second quarter, but defensively against the Payson rushing game, just outstanding work by the Yellowjackets.
I got the Longhorns right now with 5 total yards. 5 total yards, trailing 16-0, facing 2nd down and 9, and here comes some flags.
False start.
Dead ball, false start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, repeat, 2nd down.
So back behind the chains go the Longhorns. 2nd down now and 14. Flores lined up wide left, Conway wide right. Everybody else near the line or in the backfield as Klein sets it up with the faked handoff. Now with times he's trying to go back over the middle where he's looking for Conway, who had a step, and it looked like if he left his feet he might have had a chance, but instead that falls short and incomplete.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It looked like he could have had a chance for laying out and maybe at least getting his hands on that. Great pass against the coverage. He throws right into the middle of the field where there was no safety for Blue Ridge, but just not able to connect on that pass.
Make it now 3rd and long. 3rd and 14, still looking for the first chain movement for the Longhorns. As again, Flores coming out single man wide left, Conway wide to the right. Klein going to use the shotgun as Alcorta is the single man in the backfield. Now along the line of scrimmage and fake that handoff. Klein is going to keep that one, but there's nothing doing as he gets to the 30 and gains 3, but he needed 14.
That's a big hit by, was that trying to get a number for Blue Ridge, but that's definitely one of the better hits of the game so far tonight. Right here from the linebacker. Boom, that's Herschel Gregg putting the hit on Klein.
Wallace walking back to the 40. Conway, whose last punt was a struggle. This time the snap is good, hits him in the numbers as he's got time, sends this one again high and short. Wallace signaling fair catch and has it at his own 40-yard line, and that is where the Yellowjackets are going to begin. 16-0. The Jackets have scored on safety and 2 special teams touchdowns. They had the one drive that ended in the red zone, but otherwise Payson's defense has played well. It's just Blue Ridge's D has been better.
Blue Ridge's D has been outstanding so far. What was the rushing total for Payson?
They got it up to 8.
Okay, so we're in the 2nd quarter, and for them to be able to play that stiffly against the Payson offense that has been big on the running side, just outstanding for Blue Ridge.
3 receiver set. Cox is alone on the short side of the field to the right as London goes under center. Fakes the handoff, wants to do the option as he was being brought down to the backfield, able to get it to Mitchell and able to get it back to the line of scrimmage as a result. I couldn't see who was already wrapping up London, but he was not fooled.
I think that was Alcorta, number 21. Good penetration by him from the edge. You could see him get into London right away, forcing him to make that pitch. And then even after the pitch, great defensive pursuit by the Longhorns.
2nd down and 9. Good heads-up play there by London to get rid of it, as he's taken one last look now to get everybody set up. Everybody bunched up at the line of scrimmage as he turns hands off Mitchell. Stutter step to get over the 40 and falls down over the 40 to the 43. Gains 3, sets up now 3rd and 6.
Not a lot of room for a back to run through there, but Mitchell does the best he can. You can see him doing a little tap dancing at the line of scrimmage, just trying to find any little seam he can find, following those linemen.
So move it out to the 43, and again, I wonder if this is in 4-down territory as mighty the struggles have been for the Payson offense. Got a tight end on the line, coming to the left, fake the handoff, now dropping straight back. London winds up, he's got a man open behind the defenders, but he can't get it to Slaughter as it falls incomplete.
Well, he got the pass there, did London, and by the way, great blocking up front by the Blue Ridge Yellowjackets line, allowing London to drop back into that pocket. London was able to get it there. Slaughter just let it drip off his fingertips. You can't fault the placement of that pass.
So already leading 16-0, and Payson still looking for its first down, but perhaps not wanting to tempt fate. It looks as if London is going to kick this away. Back to receive is Conway as he's walking back south now of his 20. London has the snap, and the kick is away, and it's a pretty good kick as Conway is going to let this one bounce and start moving laterally and eventually gathered at the 20-yard line. And that is where Payson will begin. The Longhorns looking for their first chain movement, trailing 16-0. And now here's where it gets really interesting, because if they are able to start something offensively, they're going to get the ball to begin the second half. So they're only down 2 possessions. But it feels like so much more because of the futility that has been exhibited along this Payson attack. Starting now at the 22 officially. Klein, who is 0 for 6 with an interception, working from the shotgun. As there's some pressure being shown from the left side of that line, hands out to Alcorta, who's trying to bounce this one out. He's able to get it along the 25, but as he is brought down at the 26, a flag goes down in the backfield.
Conway, 23, will come up to finish that, or Wallace, sorry. But he'll come up with a little bit of a limp. Looked like maybe got hit in the hip or something.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
So just as soon as it looks as if something good had happened on first down, Payson again can't stand out of its way.
Right, and that's one of the rare runs we've seen from Payson tonight where they're actually trying to get to the edge. That time they were able to beat the edge. But in the process, of course, getting the holding penalty.
Moved it back to the 15. It's showing 1st and 20, but the ball placement seems to suggest it should be 1st and 17. Now as Klein is going to just keep as he's trying to get to the edge on the right side of the field and is able to get all the way out to the 25, which might have him good for a gain of 10. I can't tell what's going on. It looks like that's going to be a gain of 7 to set up 2nd down and 13, question mark?
Well, they completely beat Blue Ridge out on that right edge that time. Klein able to get to the sideline really untouched until they forced him out of bounds. Close. So it's 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10. So it wasn't 1st and 20. It was 1st and 17 on that spot foul. Got a 3-receiver set, 2 men coming out to the left. Klein going under center. He's got Alcorta behind him as he is again going to keep this time, try to dive up the middle, but nothing doing.
And again, that's 3-man rush up front, 3 defensive linemen just standing up, staying in their lanes, and the linebacker for Blue Ridge coming up and making the hit on Klein as soon as he hits a line of scrimmage. Yeah, that's Ryan Cox, number 85. I'm not sure. When we heard earlier from the coaches saying they were going to try to spy on Klein, I think that's Cox doing that work there.
Going to be generously marked out to the 24. So 3rd down and 8 at the 24-yard line. Clock running to 4 minutes to play in the half, and Blue Ridge leads 16-0. Flores is coming out wide to the left, and whistles are blown. And now a flag comes out.
Dead ball, delay game, offense. 5-yard penalty, repeat, 3rd down.
So 2 massive penalties here against Payson. They would have gained right around enough yardage for 1st down had they not been able or been forced behind the chains because of the hold. And now back behind the chains they go. 3rd down and maybe 13 as Klein drops back. He's got time. He's going to the right side and into traffic. He's going to get over everybody into Flores. His hands on the far sideline. He's at the 30, trying to outrun London as he is going to be stopped at the 15 and maybe down to the 14.
Well, that's a play there, a pass where Ortiz was able to get behind the defender, but the defender looked like Mitchell, number 15. The reason he's stepping out in front is because he took a shot at trying to intercept that pass, but it went right through his hands. Yeah, we got it a little bit late in the replay there, but it looked like it went right through the defender's hands, and Ortiz, of course, right there to catch it.
59 yards on the strike. Their first down as Alcorta now tries to go up the middle, and he will be stopped for very little gain. But let's see what kind of shot in the arm now the Longhorns have with 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go and having their first Mountain Hole Autoglass first down. Alcorta picks up 3. And again, trailing just 16-0, and again going to get the ball to start the 2nd half. Klein working from the shotgun. Alcorta standing on his left. This time he's going to go by himself as Marbello meets him in the backfield, though, and he's not going to get anything. In fact, I think he lost a yard.
Well, Marbello misses him. But more importantly, with that quick penetration from him on that outside edge, forces Klein up into the middle of the line where there's other defenders to help wrap up.
At the 10, well, the 11, 3rd down and 7. It just converted on 3rd and 13 after 2 big penalties had him working behind the sticks. Klein moving players around as he's got Ormond back there. Christensen, beg your pardon, as this game is going to go to Alcorta, again getting strung out as he is surrounded by white jerseys.
Great play defensively by a bunch of Blue Ridge Yellowjackets, but Mitchell in particular with that open field tackle, just staying with the runner. You can see him break down right here at the tackle point and just ride him outside with a low tackle, outstanding open tackle. Open field tackle by Mitchell.
Payson's going to need to talk this over. Blows the whistle with 2 minutes and 3 seconds left and trailing 16-0, facing 4th and 9. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
Who sells the #1 truck in America? Sholo Ford. That's right. Not only do they sell it, Sholo Ford is the best place to buy it. Why? Guy Hatch guarantees it. In fact, he guarantees you'll get the best deal on your next Ford car, van, or SUV as well. It doesn't matter what you buy. Sholo Ford has the best deal. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
Fourth down and 9, 2 minutes and 3 seconds to play in the half, 16-0. Blue Ridge is leading. The Yellowjackets have scored all of their points a little bit unconventionally. A safety, a kickoff return, and a punt, which I guess we'll generously say was blocked to get all 16 points on the board. Now facing 4th and 9. Klein's going for it as he rolls the pocket to the right, drops it off into traffic. It's going to fall incomplete. A flag comes out in the midst of it all, which seems as if it's the preliminary indication is holding, and it's confirmed by Neil Yazzie, our official. And I would imagine the Yellowjackets are going to go ahead and brush that one off.
Well, Herschel Gregg, number 66 for Blue Ridge, you can see him right here get into the quarterback. And
Holding on the offense. That penalty has been declined. First down and 10, Blue Ridge.
Anyway, what I was going to say was with that penetration from Gregg, compromised Klein's ability to get the ball down the field on that pass.
Now the Yellowjackets have all of their timeouts. They're leading 16-0. They have the ball right now on the 14-yard line. As looks like they're going to try to work with it. As London's going to throw this one out. It's a short catch out to Wallace. Gains maybe 3. Dangerous pass.
Well, on a rare shotgun formation for Blue Ridge so far in this game, they've been going under center quite a bit.
It's Wallace's first catches. Now they're going to move this one out and hit Mitchell in the flat. He's going to hurry out of bounds. Right in the Blue Ridge sideline. You can hear a little bit of displeasure as Conway has the boom lowered, but trying to make sure that he was running right at the stick. Nearly has the first down. Instead, he's going to be stopped just shy.
So with the shotgun, Blue Ridge with 2 quick passes, you got to think with 1:33 left here in this quarter, they're going to try to get down quickly to put some points up.
3rd and 1, minute and a half to go. As they're again dropping back, pressure coming in there as this was intended for Mitchell, nearly picked off by Klein, but instead falls incomplete.
Well, Mitchell, as you had mentioned, a little high for Mitchell to get to and thrown, of course, right into the middle of the field. Klein right behind him, had his hands on it, just couldn't gather it up.
I think Klein was getting ready to try to get the stop.
We have 3, right?
So 4th and 1. And it looks as if Yellowjackets might attempt here deep in their own territory as London bounces outside, still going toward the sticks, and I think he knew exactly where he needed to go as he moved laterally and should have the Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down.
Well, a nice run by London to get the first down.
Well, we're assuming.
We're close to it, I guess. Well, they're going to say it's 4th. All right, it's hard for us to see from up here where the...
That was 4th down.
No, I know, but I meant Blue Ridge is not happy with the mark, I think, but there's a line judge right on top of it when he does walk out.
Well, they're measuring, and right in front of the Yellowjackets huddle, and he got just enough. Well, I think we got to send some credit over to Ortiz way to force London into a difficult decision-making process. And I think PJ did as much as he could with that while also trying to make sure he got out of bounds. But that was almost disastrous. As they're leading 16-0, and he's able to move the chains for that Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down. And now again working from the shotgun as London drops back. Now starting to get a little bit of pressure.
Nice pocket.
Looking for some help as he's trying to go downfield. Instead going to try to turn it up and will gain a yard or 2 as he goes out of bounds.
Christensen on the blitz, but then he'll roll out with PJ to force him out of bounds with really not much of a gain. Actually, he'll end up losing a yard. Good pursuit angle by Christensen to force him out on that loss.
2nd down and 12, a minute and 7 seconds left in the half. Blue Ridge continuing to try to put the pressure on the Payson defense. Three receivers going out wide left. Single man on the near side looking to try to set up a screen where where it was cut by Galindo. Looking for some blocking help as he gets over the 25 and down to the 27. And a quick timeout taken now by the Yellowjackets.
Great call by Blue Ridge with that penetration from the defense on the left side of the line, and PJ just dropped it up over.
We'll give
one of the linemen got a little lost.
Got timeout, Blue Ridge. First charge timeout.
Ball spotted at the 27, or is that the 28? Galindo, like has happened with some of the other Blue Ridge ball carriers, running into one of his blockers. But they're facing now a 3rd down and 6 after 6 yards on that pickup. They look like the Yellowjackets have not wanted to just go ahead and concede the half here, but they've been running into some sticky situations. Do you think they should be conservative now with 56 seconds and a lion's share of the field?
Well, I mean, they've been going so far. They're going to stay in the shotgun. I think they have a belief they can move the ball down the field here and get themselves in position.
4 receiver set with 3 coming to the right. From the shotgun, London with time now as it starts to run out. He's pressured as he again runs into the backfield and just gets that to the line of scrimmage, which I think is going to prevent anybody from considering a grounding flag.
Well, that was just him getting rid of the football. Smart play by him. And you can see great line penetration on that. Initially, it looked like he had a nice little pocket. But then Payson just busting through blocks and able to get him out on the roll. Fortunately, London able to get that pass off, so we'll see what they do here. They're going to go into the pump formation.
Conway is back at the 35-yard line. London's going to kick. And there's 48 seconds left as this snap is high but had and nearly pressured, but London able to get this one away as Conway now runs up and takes this one at the 40, is immediately met by 2 tacklers and we brought down at the 44. 38 seconds left. Payson has all of its timeouts remaining and is trailing 16-0. So now the big question is, what can the Longhorns do to try to make up these 55 yards? The one first down was had when Klein connected with Ortiz for 59 yards, and London saved the touchdown by tracking him down and bringing him down inside the 15. So that is the closest the Longhorns have come to any points. That's been the only time they've moved the chains. As Klein going to have 2 receivers going out wide to the right. Quick drop, looks left, goes back to the right, has it to Conway, who is going to be immediately dropped by Jimmy Wallace after a 4-yard gain.
That's a good tackle by Wallace, just letting the receiver go ahead with that short route and the reception. Blue Ridge in a cover 4. They're going to go too deep on the safety.
Oh, the snap is dropped. Klein falls on it, and it's going to go for a big loss. And a timeout taken by Payson with 15 seconds to go.
Yeah, big mistake or a big setback here for Payson. It was a good snap, just mishandled
Got timeout,
by Klein.
Payson. Their second charge timeout.
I think that'll go as a 7-yard loss. That would bring Klein back to just 4 yards total on the ground on 11 carries. He did have the 59-yard pitch and catch, but otherwise, this young man who's generally responsible for upwards of 200 total yards, he's been bottled up by this Blue Ridge attack.
Yeah, he's really been pretty much a non-factor, surprisingly. You got to credit that defensive front for Blue Ridge, of course. They've been rushing 3 for the most part all night. And then the linebacker play, of course, just outstanding thus far for the Yellowjackets.
It's going to be interesting to hear what are the scores that are coming in from around the state at halftime. It's my opinion that Payson's probably in, but would have to wait and see now as they're facing 3rd and 17 of the Longhorns. Ortiz coming in motion as they fake the give to him, try to set up a screen where it was looking for Shepard, but the pass, well, they're going to say he caught it, and that probably will be the final play of the half. Our scoreboard's at 0, 16-0. Blue Ridge is leading in what has been a pretty big defensive struggle. It doesn't look that way because of the special teams touchdowns that the Yellowjackets have been able to put up, but put them up they did. It leads 16-0 here at the break. Payson will have the football to start the second half, and they're going into the locker room looking for answers as they only have the 1 first down that they've been able to muster. But otherwise, they still got 2 halves to go, and they're only trailing by 2 scores. We'll tell you more about it right after this here. 16-0 at halftime. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on Night Talk 106.7 and NightTalk1067.com.
Who sells the #1 truck in America? Sholo Ford. That's right. Not only do they sell it, Sholo Ford is the best place to buy it. Why? Guy Hatch guarantees it. In fact, he guarantees you'll get the best deal on your next Ford car, van, or SUV as well. It doesn't matter what you buy. Sholo Ford has the best deal. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
You've been there, waiting forever at the gas station for the guy to free up so he can fill up your propane tank. Or worse, when the only qualified propane technician decided to stay home that day. Yep, you've been there and I have too. That's why now I get my propane from Ace Hardware every time. You get Ace Hardware's world-famous customer service when you stop in for propane. That's right, you get in, you get out, and you get a great deal on propane and everything else. From Ace Hardware at the locations in Pine Top and Heber. Ace Hardware is proud to support White Mountain Sports.
Orthodontist Dr. Joshua Beeler has been providing family-friendly orthodontics in Show Low and the entire White Mountains since 2006. If you need braces, stop in and see the friendly folks at Beeler Orthodontics and meet their professional staff. Dr. Beeler and his team have the latest in orthodontics technology, and they work with each patient individually to custom tailor the most effective treatment plan for the best results. Beeler Orthodontics is a proud sponsor of high school sports. Beeler Orthodontics, live to smile, love your smile.
When you think glass, think Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. Deemer's Glass offers the best selection of quality glass with affordable prices. They do full home window packages, replacement windows, custom shower doors and enclosures, custom mirrors in many shapes, styles, and colors, glass doors and hardware, commercial glass for buildings and offices, skylights, screens, fire-rated glass for your fireplace or stove, window film, and more. Visit Deemer's Glass today on Porter Mountain Road in Lakeside or call 1-888-GLASSMAN.
Want to go fishing? Head to Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. They have fishing supplies, outdoor fishing attire, and fishing gear. Plus all kinds of bait including live worms, flies, and lures. The staff are experienced anglers and they can advise you on what you need, where to go, and what type of bait the fish are biting on. Plus, pick up your fishing, camping, and boat permits. When you think fishing, think Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. Located on Highway 260, 1 mile before the casino.
I got this. Don't take time out of your busy day. Let Mountain Mobile Auto Glass come to you. All our technicians are certified by the National Auto Glass Safety Council. Mountain Mobile Auto Glass will give you $50 cash, free movie passes, and free dinner.
536-5972. Mountain Mobile Auto Glass, cash back to you.
I chose MPC because it offers good quality education. Ultimately, I want to be a nurse anesthetist. This is the start to that path. The instructors want you to succeed, which is really helpful. I've learned a lot so far in just one semester. It's incredibly great how much I've learned. Northland Pioneer College is transforming my life by helping me achieve my goals in my career.
I chose welding because there's always going to be a job and you can go so many different directions within it. The professors helped me so much with getting my skill level up to where it needs to be and helping me progress in the ways that I want to. It teaches you really to be job ready, having a good attitude, and still working hard. NPC has transformed my life by giving me a skill and a trade that I can take with me wherever I go.
$16-0 the score at halftime. Blue Ridge is able to get on the board first despite fumbling the opening kick. Able to avoid any damage there as the attempted field goal after a 3-and-out was forced by the defense is going to be just a bit short. Yellowjackets then take it deep into Payson territory but also come up short but leave the Longhorns with just 5 yards between themselves and the goal line. And eventually get a safety on that one to get the first points on the board. And then when the Longhorns were forced to kick it out from the 20, a short kick taken by Mitchell, Damon Mitchell, about 65 yards and all the way into the end zone for the score to make it 9-0 at that point. Again, we're able to force a tight situation for the Payson offense. This is going to take us into the second quarter, at which point the Longhorns were attempting to kick this one from deep in their field. Snap was low. It went between the punter Conway's legs, and he watched it roll toward the end line in the end zone. It looked as if he thought he was on his return duties as he stood and watched that one just roll dead, allowing P.J. London to jump on the spot and record the second special teams touchdown and get us to this point 16-0. It was deep into the second quarter before the Longhorns were able to get the first down. That remains the only first down as Klein was able to connect with Ortiz about 59 yards. But that is where they had stopped as the Blue Ridge defense got stronger and was able to force a couple of losses that eventually had the Longhorns trying to move the pocket while looking to throw it into the end zone on 4th down and about 12. But they weren't able to do anything with it. And that has been much of the situation for the Payson offense. And I think the big question right now on most Longhorns fans' minds is how much of this is being insisted upon them by the Blue Ridge defense, or are they kind of just shooting their own feet?
Yeah, Payson really, especially after that opening kickoff turnover with the fumble on the kickoff by Blue Ridge, I thought, man, that's a horrible start for Blue Ridge, but they recovered well, did Blue Ridge. They came right back, and Payson really from the get-go has just been flat. I don't know how else to describe it. Mentally, maybe just not there yet. Preparation-wise, who knows, but Blue Ridge defensively, you got to give them credit though, and they've been able to stifle a rushing game that has been the strength of Payson coming in with just rushing 3 all night. They haven't been crowding the box or stuffing the box. We hear that Blue Ridge may be spying one of their linebackers on the quarterback, which makes sense. There's nothing really different or unique about that necessarily, but I don't know what to say. But Blue Ridge, whatever they're doing defensively, has just been working really well against that Payson offense. I think, to your point, though, part of the problem for Payson is they're mentally prep-wise they look flat that first half.
I think that a lot of the credit needs to go toward Dimitri Muncie, who I'm assuming, just as we've been calling his name so many times in the first half, we watched this Payson team really try to go toward the left side of the we tried to go to the left side of their line, and the right side of the defensive front for Sholo just wasn't able to really push back much when we had seen this team a couple weeks ago. This time, I'm just assuming that Muncie is manning the position over there as that down lineman furthest to the right, where they continue to try to go in that direction. Maybe the last couple possessions they've kind of gone away from just because it's yielded nothing. But I think that a lot of the things that looks as if maybe they're flat is just because they're used to being able to assert their will while they go in that direction. And against these Yellowjackets, just hasn't been the case.
Yeah, well, in their line, Payson's line, good-sized kids. We talked about that at the top of the game, how in that Sholo game it looked like with that line, especially in the later quarters, it just seemed to wear down Sholo's defense. But Blue Ridge so far, and the linebacker play, though, at the same time has been good, too. We've been calling Greg's number a lot, number 66, Herschel Gregg. He's been finding a lot of success in shooting those gaps inside, along with Cox on the outside linebacker position, the combination of those two guys, and, of course, others as well. But Blue Ridge has just really dominated the line of scrimmage defensively tonight. The combination of their line play and then that second-level linebacker play has just been outstanding.
You look at the 16-0 score, and it's easy to assume that the Yellowjackets offense has been asserting its will, to use that one again, but that not necessarily has been the case. They did pick up a huge 3rd and long on their first sequence after they had fumbled away the opening kickoff. London was able to get 11 yards on 3rd and 10 out to Cox, and that really saved that series that allowed them to move the ball deep into Payson territory and eventually set up the safety, which then eventually set up the first touchdown on the kickoff return. But outside of that first series that started on their own 20 and moved inside the 10, the Yellowjacket offense has not really done a whole lot, but they have not victimized the defense in any way, shape, or form. They've been providing the defense an opportunity to make plays, and then I think you just got to turn all the credit to the Blue Ridge defenders who've been able to take that opportunity and run with it.
Agreed. And, if Payson were, say, to get back on track, at least from where we've seen them in previous games, if they're able to get on track offensively, that's going to be, I think, a little bit of maybe of a challenge for Blue Ridge in the second half, because Blue Ridge as well didn't show. I mean, they were able to move the ball much better than Payson, and they're using much more diverse offense. I think, initially we saw London going up under center a lot, and they did well running the football against that Payson defense. But later, especially in that second quarter, we saw them go to the pass and diversify their offense. So they were able to move. Blue Ridge generally was able to move the football offensively much better than Payson, but still, it's not like they were crushing it themselves. And if Payson can come back with some touchdowns and put some points up in the second half, that's going to put some pressure on Blue Ridge to get offensively productive themselves.
16-0 at the break. We will continue our conversation after this. It's Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on NightTalk 106.7 and NightTalk 106.7.com.
Who sells the #1 truck in America? Sholo Ford. That's right. Not only do they sell it, Sholo Ford is the best place to buy it. Why? Guy Hatch guarantees it. In fact, he guarantees you'll get the best deal on your next Ford car, van, or SUV as well. It doesn't matter what you buy. Sholo Ford has the best deal. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
You've been there waiting forever at the gas station for the guy to free up so we can fill up your propane tank. Or worse, when the only qualified propane technician decided to stay home that day. Yep, you've been there and I have too. That's why now I get my propane from Ace Hardware every time. You get Ace Hardware's world-famous customer service when you stop in for propane. That's right, you get in, you get out, and you get a great deal on propane and everything else. From Ace Hardware at their locations in Pine Top and Heber. Ace Hardware is proud to support White Mountain Sports.
Orthodontist Dr. Joshua Beeler has been providing family-friendly orthodontics in Sholo and the entire White Mountains since 2006. If you need braces, stop in and see the friendly folks at Beeler Orthodontics and meet their professional staff. Dr. Beeler and his team have the latest in orthodontics technology, and they work with each patient individually to custom tailor the most effective treatment plan for the best results. Beeler Orthodontics is a proud sponsor of high school sports. Beeler Orthodontics, live to smile, love your smile.
When you think glass, think Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. Deemer's Glass offers the best selection of quality glass with affordable prices. They do full home window packages, replacement windows, custom shower doors and enclosures, custom mirrors in many shapes, styles, and colors, glass doors and hardware, commercial glass for buildings and offices, skylights, screens, fire-rated glass for your fireplace or stove, window film, and more. Visit Deemer's Glass today on Porter Mountain Road in Lakeside or call 1-888-GLASSMAN.
Want to go fishing? Head to Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. They have fishing supplies, outdoor fishing attire, and fishing gear. Plus all kinds of bait including live worms, flies, and lures. The staff are experienced anglers and they can advise you on what you need, where to go, and what type of bait the fish are biting on. Plus, pick up your fishing, camping, and boat permits. When you think fishing, think Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. Located on Highway 260, 1 mile before the casino.
I got this. Don't take time out of your busy day. Let Mountain Mobile Auto Glass come to you. All our technicians are certified by the National Auto Glass Safety Council. Mountain Mobile Auto Glass will give you $50 cash, free movie passes, and free dinner.
536-5972. Mountain Mobile Auto Glass, cash back to you.
I chose MPC because it offers good quality education. Ultimately, I want to be a nurse anesthetist. This is the start to that path. And instructors want you to succeed, which is really helpful. I've learned a lot so far in just 1 semester. It's incredibly crazy how much I've learned. Northland Pioneer College is transforming my life by helping me achieve my goals in my career.
I chose welding because there's always going to be a job and you can go so many different directions within it. The professors helped me so much with getting my skill level up to where it needs to be and helping me progress in the ways that I want to. It teaches you really to be job ready, having a good attitude, and still working hard. NPC has transformed my life by giving me a skill and a trade that I can take with me wherever I go.
(16-0) Blue Ridge leading at Payson. As we're going to be able to take a look at a few scores. This is how the playoff situation would have happened had the regular season ended last week. Benjamin Franklin would have taken on Ganado in the 1-16 matchup. Sabino and ALA Gilbert North in 8-9. Snowflake would have hosted the St. Payson Longhorns in an interesting matchup. Of course, Payson had already knocked off the Lobos. Coolidge then would have faced Odyssey in the 5-12 ball game. Then on the other side of it, ALA Queen Creek as the number 3 seed would have played host to Yuma Catholic. Blue Ridge would have hosted Arizona College Prep. Valley Christian and Safford would have matched up in the 7-10 matchup, and then Northwest Christian and River Valley would have rounded it out. So let's see if we have any scores here that would influence how any of that might play out, as Snowflake is knocking off Winslow. Winslow, interestingly, is the 16th spot in the power rankings, but would be ejected from the playoff situation by the winner of the North, which looks as if it's going to be Ganado in all likelihood. So that right now seems as if that's going to be the only stolen bid. Winslow, of course, would have needed a win to try to make sure that they would not be on the receiving end of that, and probably would have switched spots with Payson. But it doesn't look as if that's going to happen as they are in the third quarter, where it is Snowflake is playing without Briggs Turley. But it doesn't look as if it's making much of an impact in that one here. The Lobos leading 14-0. You got Sholo that is going to get matched up with Holbrook after all, leading that one 33-6. as we go through it some more. Alchese leading Red Mesa 26-8. Round Valley 19-0 over Pima. And Morenci and St. John's are playing. We just don't know the score.
Well, and another big game based on, the potential rankings here. Safford tonight playing Sabino. That score at halftime, Safford 7, Sabino 6. Ooh. So a nice close game there.
And that one still has the South up grabs, I believe, as Safford is undefeated in the South, and Sabino, I believe, only has one loss. So if they wind up head-to-head matchup would give the region championship to Sabino, but both of those teams look as if they're safely in regardless of what happens with that one. As Safford is the number 10 spot in the power ranking, Sabino 8. So really the only curiosities as we look across the state is Wickenburg, which is playing at River Valley, which would try to institute a tie in the West region. But even then, if you got a three-way tie, the tiebreaker goes to conference winning percentage, and I don't think Wickenburg is going to be able to steal a bid from anybody. The other interesting one is the Central, where you have currently ALA Queen Creek in a logjam at the top, where ALA Queen Creek, Ben Franklin, and Coolidge are each 3-1. And right now you're going to suggest that ALA Queen Creek would win that region because it has the best win over Ben Franklin. All these teams have the same record. Ben Franklin knocked off Coolidge, and Coolidge right now has an opportunity to further muddy the waters by potentially knocking off ALA Queen Creek. Those teams are also all in the top 5 of the power rankings, and I figure to have an awful lot of say-so in who comes out as a state champion. The other really interesting one is Yuma Catholic right now is undefeated in the Metro West region. Valley Christian has one loss. Yuma Catholic trying to lock up the region by winning at Odyssey, which is another team that seems as if it's safely in. This seems as if nothing else, it's going to open the door for Valley Christian to win that region, should Yuma Catholic not be able to go on the road and pick up that win. So a lot of interesting stuff happening all over the state, but it seems as if, for the most part, the 16 teams, including the team that's going to get in from the north, are for the most part pretty well decided. Taking a look at the power rankings, when you're talking about Sholo, which we just got to score, Yuma Catholic is up 10-6. So what do I know? What do I know about the Metro West region? The answer is very little.
Much more than I do, so I'll just let you keep going.
No. And all that I know, I just wrote down. So that is the landscape. We will try to keep you apprised of all the scores as they come trickling in. Our score right now is Blue Ridge leading Payson 16-0, as we will have the beginning of the second half for you right after this. This is Shoulder Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
At Summit Healthcare, you'll find a level of care you might not expect from a rural hospital. We've recently received 5 stars from CMS, a prestigious ranking that less than 5% of facilities in Arizona earned. Our cancer center has proven its level of advanced care with a national accreditation from the Commission on Cancer. And we continue to add more doctors and services so that you don't have to leave mountain to find the care you need. At Summit Healthcare, we're elevating care here at home.
I got this. Don't take time out of your busy day. Let Mountain Mobile Auto Glass come to you. All our technicians are certified by the National Auto Glass Safety Council. Mountain Mobile Auto Glass will give you $50 cash, free movie passes, and free dinner.
536-5972. Mountain Mobile Auto Glass, cash back to you.
I chose MPC because it offers good quality education. Ultimately, I want to be a nurse anesthetist. This is the start to that path. And instructors want you to succeed, which is really helpful. I've learned a lot so far in just one semester. It's incredibly crazy how much I've learned. Northland Pioneer College is transforming my life by helping me achieve my goals in my career.
I chose welding because there's always going to be a job and you can go so many different directions within it. The professors helped me so much with getting my skill level up to where it needs to be and helping me progress in the ways that I want to. It teaches you really to be job ready, having a good attitude, and still working hard. NPC has transformed my life by giving me a skill and a trade that I can take with me wherever I go.
At Summit Healthcare, you'll find a level of care you might not expect from a rural hospital. We've recently received 5 stars from CMS, a prestigious ranking that less than 5% of facilities in Arizona earned. Our Cancer Center has proven its level of advanced care with a national accreditation from the Commission on Cancer. And we continue to add more doctors and services so that you don't have to leave the mountain to find the care you need. At Summit Healthcare, we're elevating care here at home.
Who sells the #1 truck in America? Sholo Ford. That's right. Not only do they sell it, Sholo Ford is the best place to buy it. Why? Guy Hatch guarantees it. In fact, he guarantees you'll get the best deal on your next Ford car, van, or SUV as well. It doesn't matter what you buy. Sholo Ford has the best deal. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
You've been there, waiting forever at the gas station for the guy to preach so we can fill up your propane tank. Or worse, when the only qualified propane technician decided to stay home that day. Yep, you've been there and I have too. That's why now I get my propane from Ace Hardware every time. You get Ace Hardware's world-famous customer service when you stop in for propane. That's right, you get in, you get out, and you get a great deal on propane and everything else. From Ace Hardware at their locations in Pine Top and Heber. Ace Hardware is proud to support White Mountain sports.
The work cut out for him. Again here as Blue Ridge is getting ready to start the second half, having pitched a gem defensively. The Longhorns looking for answers, as I want to believe that senior field correspondent Ron Everingham is going to have something for us, but there has been no indication that such may be the case. So we'll just get ready for the Northland Pioneer College kickoff and remind you that when it comes time to kick off your college education, choose the college with the lowest tuition in Arizona. That's Northland Pioneer College, as it was a wild first half for Jesse Conway. He had 1 catch for 4 yards and had his fingerprints on some of the low marks for the Longhorns, but he's back to receive this one at his 10-yard line as London is going to kick it away. The Yellowjackets again with 2 special teams touchdowns to get the 16-0 edge, and are now just trying to hold on and get ready for another run through the state, as this one is low and bouncing up to the up man. No, it's taken by Conway as he starts moving around some blockers at the 30. Now he's still on his feet as he retreats back to the 25, trying to get to the far sideline, and again over the 30 where he's going to dive down at, I'm going to say the 33, but as the play was winding down, a flag comes out, and this probably is not in a good position for the Longhorns.
Well, and Conway doing a good job of just breaking through tackles by Blue Ridge early in on that return. But with the penalty, not even sure where that's going to head it.
Not sure what our white-head Yesi is indicating.
Yeah, it looks like from body language it's going to go against Blue Ridge.
Holding during the return, like the kicking team. 10-yard penalty added to the end of the run. First down and 10.
Defensive holding on a kickoff.
23 White. 23 White.
I was going to say Wallace was victim, or they're guilty of that. So excellent field position to start here for the Longhorns, all the way out to their own 43-yard line, trailing just 2 scores. As Klein, who has only been able to convert on 3 of his passes, going to get Shepard now on a screen, is going to weave through some traffic to get over midfield. He's still on his feet and very close to a first down. In fact, I think he might have got it.
Well, that's a play we did not see from Payson in the first half. They're attacking that outside edge quickly with that quick out pass. And you can see they're just attacking the corners. And again, a unique offensive play there for Payson, who in the first half really tried to attack the interior of the offensive line. On that play, of course, going outside quickly, and they get a nice gain. Probably one of the largest gains of the football game.
Oh, absolutely. Are they trying to open things up for the interior by throwing to the edge like that?
Could be.
So they're stretching out, and it looks like this will be a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down by half of a length of the football. So the Longhorns at this point couldn't have scripted a better start, as they get a penalty to move things toward midfield, and then a quick strike on a wide receiver screen to get into Blue Ridge territory for just the second time. 11:23 to play in the third quarter. They trail 16-0, but Klein right now starting to heat up. He's been good on 4 of his last 5. Wants to throw it this time to the right side where it's had by Conway, but it was high, and he's immediately dropped for no gain, maybe even a loss.
That was a great play by the cornerback. I believe that's Wallace coming up to make that tackle. And the difference there is he's quick to the ball. As soon as the receiver catches it, the defender's there on top of him with a nice open field tackle. But again, the same play by Payson just going to the other side this time.
Conway moves over to the left. He's joined by two receivers in this direction. One man split wide to the right as Klein with a quick drop. Now it starts to run out on him, but it's going to open up, but Muncie is going to track him down before he's able to get upfield. Muncie, if he doesn't get to him, it's going to be probably a first down, as he had the C's parted before him to Klein, but tracked down from behind for just a 1-yard gain.
Well said. You're spot on. Had Muncie not been there to get Klein as he moves up into the middle of the line, Klein had a lot of room with all his receivers going deep, clearing out that middle of the football field.
Same formation. Alcorta is the lone man in the backfield with 4 receivers, and he's going to run right behind Alcorta. He's got some room as he accelerates over the 40 and is again stopped right before he is able to pick up a first down, but the Payson sideline is hyped up, and this might have moved the chains.
Well, that's, again, something we didn't see in the first half from Klein and certainly from Payson offensively. That's the Klein we saw in the Sholo game. He just explodes at the line of scrimmage, and that time knocking off a big gain for him.
That's a Mountain Mobile Autoglass first down to the Blue Ridge 36-yard line, now doubling the number of first downs had in the first half on this first drive. And again, Klein is going to follow Alcorta, just chipping his way over the 35 and stumbles down to the 30. 5-yard gain on first down to make it 2nd and 5. Blue Ridge leading 16-0, but Payson has looked like a much different ball club coming out of the locker room. Conway again split wide to the left. He's joined by 2 other men. 4 receiver set as this one again is a screen set up to Shepard as he is met after he runs over the 30 and is able to fall forward down to the 27, but it's going to be shy of a first down by 2 or 3 yards.
Well, that's Herschel Gregg and Muncie both in on the tackle and in the process colliding pretty mightily with each other. Dimitri Muncie a little slow getting up, but he's okay. Well, they're going to have him step out, come to the sideline, just to make sure. They're going to sub him out on that defensive end position.
We talked about at halftime how he was doing an awful lot to really bottle things up coming to the left of the line for the Longhorns, who thought that play had stopped, and they're huddled up. So now the clock is being wound. They're going to have to run back from toward the sideline. 8 minutes and 50 seconds to go. That was actually a 4-yard gain on that screen to make it now 3rd down and less than a yard. 3 receivers this time going to the right. Alcorta is to the left of Klein as they're going to try to go toward that left side, but being met at the line but having the strength to fall over the 25, Klein will pick up a Mountain Mobile Autoglass first down. That's the 3rd time that they have moved the chains now to start the second half.
Well, it's Austin Slaughter from Blue Ridge coming up making a good hit, but unfortunately just a little too tall on the tackle, and Klein will take advantage and fall forward, as you say, with that fall, able to get the first down.
Put it at the 24-yard line. They're approaching the red zone. Been in this situation once before after the long passing play, but now facing, and somebody comes out of their stance early. Will Howell, the guilty man.
Howell's hard to miss out there, 6'6", 220-pound senior.
Puts the Longhorns behind the chains. First mistake really here as there's a blitz being shown by the Yellowjackets. Fake the give for Klein as he's going to run to the right side. He gets the yards lost right back, but now 2nd down and 10.
Galindo in on the tackle down low with a couple of teammates finishing off along to bring down Klein, Marbello on the tackle there. But again, you can see Klein trying to attack that outside edge.
2nd down, they're calling it 10. As he was able to get 5 was Klein. Same set with trips coming to the left, single man wide right. Alcorta standing now on Klein's right. Is they're going to try to run in that direction? No, he's going to cut it back, go to the left, and put his head down, force his way down to the 20, and pick up a couple of yards to make it 3rd down and long. Let's send it down to senior field correspondent Ron Everingham.
Yeah, down here on the sidelines watching Dimitri Muncie going through some concussion protocol. He did look rather dazed as he came out, and his helmet's coming off, so he's going to sit out for a bit. And so that's going to definitely hurt that line for Blue Ridge defense.
We can go ahead and call that a Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center injury report, I think. Summit Regional Medical Center has everything your athlete needs to get back in the game. 3rd down and 4. Let's see if that opens things up to the left here for the Longhorn rushing attack, as they're instead going to throw this one over the middle where it's caught for a first down. Now running through one tackler and into the end zone for the score, but a flag comes down where the pass was had.
Well,
Porter Flake would be in for the touchdown pending this penalty.
That's a great run by Flake after the catch, but breaking through a couple of tackles. Really poor tackling by Blue Ridge.
I think we got a block in the back.
Poor tackling by Blue Ridge after the catch there, but give Flake credit. regardless, though, they are talking to the Blue Ridge captain, so this penalty will go against Payson.
I didn't see who got him. I might have been Kyle Shepard with a block in the back.
Or they may say lineman downfield as well.
No, they just signaled block in the back.
Oh, okay. We'll hear it here.
We have blocks in the back by the offense. Be a 10-yard penalty, repeat, third down.
So it would have gone for a touchdown. Instead, the second costly penalty and make it 3rd and 15 after that spot foul is going to send it back to the 20. But Payson has to be feeling pretty good about itself. They just saw the ball cross the plane. Klein again from the shotgun. Alcorta on his left. A little bit of pressure shown by the Longhorns. They're going to throw toward the back end of the end zone where it's caught, but was he in play?
Well,
touchdown,
he caught
Payson.
The ball, so they were going to call that a touchdown.
Trevor Flores with his first catch, and he makes it a 16-6 ball game with it.
And Flores is able to beat, it looked like Jacob Kern, into that deep corner of the end zone.
Well, and Howell is late getting up, that 6'6" tackle. And he's able to walk off on his own power, so that's good news. But now it seems as if Payson might be down one of its key defensive linemen, just as it seems as if Blue Ridge is. But what's going on now?
Well, we talked about this. You know, if Payson could get their offense together, Blue Ridge was able to put up points, obviously, in that first half, but really most of them on special teams and turnovers. That's with Payson scoring here. It's going to have to have Blue Ridge challenge Blue Ridge a little bit with their offense. They're going to have to start producing as well.
5-minute and 35-second drive to boot, as they're going to be going 4-2 to make it a one-possession ball game. Are the Longhorns. Klein from the shotgun tries to set up a reverse where it's head by Conway. He doesn't have much blocking help as he jumps over one tackler. Still on his feet as he's trying to fight his way to the goal line, but it's going to be about a yard short and no good to make it 16-6. The Yellowjackets are in front, but here is a beating heart being demonstrated by the Payson offense and has made the final 18 minutes of this ball game very interesting. Payson's trying to lock up a region championship, but they're down 10 here in the third quarter. This is Sholo Ford presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
Who sells the #1 truck in America? Sholo Ford. That's right. Not only do they sell it, Sholo Ford is the best place to buy it. Why? Guy Hatch guarantees it. In fact, he guarantees you'll get the best deal on your next Ford car, van, or SUV as well. It doesn't matter what you buy. Sholo Ford has the best deal. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
16-6, the two-point conversion is not good. So the Longhorns are trying to mount the comeback. We were reminded during that third quarter that they trailed Snowflake at home 21-0 before turning on the Jets. And there's, again, just showing the beating heart. But now ready to kick it away. Dominguez going to kick. Mitchell is back to receive. As this has been how Blue Ridge has scored one of its touchdowns, as this one is kicked short and going to be taken by Galindo. It bounces off his chest. He picks it up late. A little bit of blocking help, but he is going to get down at the 24. And I tell you what, these Longhorns are fired up.
Yeah, they came down quick with their defensive coverage. And one of the Blue Ridge players, I think that's Slaughter, coming off out of that big collision on the kick return. You can see there, that big collision there.
So leading 16-6, but still looking for their first offensive points. P.J. London, who is 6 of 12 for 51 yards. He's also carried the ball 8 times for 20 yards. Is going to go out in a big power eye attack as they look for Mitchell to try to get some room over the left side, but there's not much doing. Gain of 1. Well, they're going to say he got out to maybe a 3-yard carry to make it second down now and 7.
Again, Blue Ridge going under center again with London. With that tight formation, just trying to pound with the running game. We'll see how well they do on this possession.
Same formation as London goes under center. Pitch at this time to Mitchell, who's trying to come to the near side. He runs by one tackler in the backfield, and he loses the football. Payson's got it. Payson has recovered another fumble as Christensen has given the Longhorns possession in Blue Ridge territory. I think they might say that Mitchell was down.
Well, it was a great run by Mitchell. It's just a question of when he lost the ball, and they're going to say Payson was able to pull it loose before he was down. It was a great run by Mitchell, finding space But again, Payson being aggressive with their tackling, they're able to rip that ball out. Right there, Ortiz just able to get his hand in. Christensen picks it up for the turnover.
Would have been a first down after a 14-yard carry. Instead, here comes that Payson offense, which just found its confidence. Starting in Blue Ridge territory, trailing 16-6. Rip's going to the right. Low snap, but Klein's able to pick it up now, trying to set up a screen where he has Shepard, but he's going to be surrounded at the line of scrimmage.
Well, that's a low snap, which means a late developing pass play, and I'll tell you, Klein pays for it. A big rush by one of the defenders for Blue Ridge, and they lay the lumber on Klein just as he releases this pass. You'll see here, that's a big hit. That's Cox.
It was actually down for a loss. Second down and 11. Single man on the near side is Flores. As Klein working from the shotgun. Again, pressure being shown from the Yellowjackets, but he's going to run right by it. Over the 35, he steps through a tackle. He's at the 30. Going to the sideline as he's at the 20, 15, and out of bounds near the 10.
Good blocking at the point of attack and the line of scrimmage by Payson, allowing Klein to find that space. They pick up the linebacker for Blue Ridge that's coming over to try to keep Klein inside, and he's able to break loose.
We haven't seen it yet, but there you see how big Klein is, because he was stopped, but he runs right through that tackler and is able to pick up 28 yards in a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down down to the 11. And Blue Ridge had done such a great job over the first half not allowing his size to become an impact, but there he was able to assert his will. And again, the Yellowjackets crowding around the line of scrimmage as Klein this time going to fend it off to Alcorta, who's going to try to go up the middle, and he falls over the 10, but it's just a 1-yard gain.
Palmer in on the tackle for Blue Ridge. Not a lot of room that time on that running play, but the big difference, noticeable difference here in the second half, Klein has really amped up his energy level and his performance. I'm not sure what they talked about at halftime, but it certainly made a huge difference in terms of the mental approach here in the second half.
Forward progress made that a 2-yard gain. Now as Klein looks for a little hole to develop on the right side of the line, and it closes quickly, but he is able to fall forward and pick up another 2.
Marbello down in the bottom of that pile along with number 71, Palmer for Blue Ridge. Again, good blocking out on the edges there by the Payson Longhorns, allowing space for Klein as he moves up through the line of scrimmage.
3rd down and 5. Conway is going to go out to the far sideline, and in single coverage joining him in the form of Jimmy Wallace. They're going to crowd him up around the line of scrimmage as Klein drops back. He's looking instead to the left. He's got some time as he drops that one off, looking over the middle, but it was deflected and incomplete. Cox got a hand on it.
Yeah, Cox with that rush on Klein. He's coming in from a linebacker position. Klein with a really quick release on that pass, so it looks like Payson will set up here for a field goal attempt. That'll be 25 yards.
The Yellowjackets were able to avoid getting punished for the previous fumble, as that was going to be a far longer field goal for Dominguez, but this one was well within the range as he demonstrated in the first quarter as the snap is down and a little bit of pressure coming from the edge, but he's able to get that one up and split the uprights to get 9 points now on the board. And here with 3 minutes and 40 seconds to play in the third quarter, it has been all Payson in the second half, though they still trail 16-9 to the Longhorns. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk 106.
Who sells the #1 truck in America? Sholo Ford. That's right. Not only do they sell it, Sholo Ford is the best place to buy it. Why? Guy Hatch guarantees it. In fact, he guarantees you'll get the best deal on your next Ford car, van, or SUV as well. It doesn't matter what you buy. Sholo Ford has the best deal. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
He's out.
16-9 before this Northland Pioneer College kickoff. Let's go down to Ron Everingham.
Yeah, I just got word from the Blue Ridge sidelines that it's official that Muncie is out for the night with concussion protocol.
All right, thank you, Ron. That's a huge loss, and that Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center is going to have a huge impact on the defensive side, you'd think, as this one is kicked over Mitchell's head and through the end zone. Touchback for the Yellowjackets, who have only been able to run 2 plays in 8 minutes and 40 seconds here in the second half. One of the strategies that the Yellowjackets had hoped that they might be able to employ is by forcing Payson, particularly Klein and Conway, to defend. But right now, it's the exact opposite of that, as London has been forced to use most of his energy here in the second half on the defensive end.
Right. Well, and Blue Ridge with that turnover, of course, allowed Payson to move in on that second score, the field goal. So they're going to have to really protect the football, obviously, in the second half.
Offset I for the Yellowjackets as they're going Mitchell, who just fumbled that last one away, and he's going to follow a surge that gets him down to the 22 or 23-yard line. There is a big crowd here at Payson High School. It's standing room only going down the sideline, and I'd say there might be as many as 100 people behind the end zone, and they are all getting loud.
Yep. Well, Payson, of course, totally different football team here in the second half, early in the second half, compared to that first half.
Same formation now as Galindo moves behind the line of scrimmage, handed up to Mitchell, who's going to try coming to the right side. He's going to get held up after he gains a couple of yards, though, to set up a manageable third down, maybe as little as 2.
Big play here for Blue Ridge with third down. Of course, on their first possession, they have the fumble turnover in their own end of the field. So Blue Ridge now with third down on their second possession. They need to make a statement here. Payson, of course, putting up 9 points quickly.
3rd and 4, as there's a quick snap. Again going with Mitchell as he's going to go over the left side of the line, get stood up over the 30, close to the 35, but will have enough for a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down.
Great run by Mitchell, and even better line play to make that hole up front against that big Payson front. So a big first down here for Blue Ridge to keep this possession extended.
That was a huge pickup there for the Yellowjackets because the Payson offense has really found its stride here in the third quarter. And with 2 minutes and 5 seconds and the clock moving, the Yellowjackets really needed to do something, if nothing else, to maintain possession. As they're going to come out again in the offset eye with Galindo moving to the strong side. He'll get the call. No, pulling it back is London. He's going to try to drop that one off for Mitchell. It seems like that should be an incomplete pass, but instead they're going to rule that as a fumble, I think.
No,
as London's a little bit, now there it is, incomplete. London late getting up, though.
That's good pressure on London to create that. Little lucky in some respects that he was able to move that as a forward pass.
Will Howell there as he came off late, and he was providing the pressure. And a timeout taken from Blue Ridge, I think, just to make sure that P.J. London is primed and ready to go. Facing 2nd and 10 after he's able to get that out of his hands. That's a dangerous play as he was trying to get rid of that one as he was going down. And it's one of those things, when it works, he looks like he's pretty crafty. But if that was instead a fumble, he was going to look.
Well, and we heard at the top of the game that one of the keys for Payson was to try to keep London in the pocket tonight. And that good edge protection from Payson defense, that edge penetration, kept him from being able to roll out. We've seen that a lot tonight. So it's a good strategy defensively for Payson. Has paid dividends for them in terms of corralling London, because he is a good runner when he's able to roll out and find space.
Ortiz coming out to match up in single coverage with Wallace on this 2nd down and 10 play with 1 minute and 47 seconds. Blue Ridge now with 2 timeouts remaining in the rest of the ball game is going to hand this one off. Oh, and it's another fumble, and I think that Payson has gathered this one, and Marbello lost the ball, and it will be recovered by the Longhorns.
Again, just a simple play, run up the middle, Marbello, and Payson doing a great job of stripping away those the ball from those runners. Payson quickly jumps on it, so another big turnover by the Blue Ridge Yellowjackets.
First fumble of the ball game, as we couldn't see on the replay who was able to knock that away or recover it. Well, here we're going to take a look as Klein is already set at the line of scrimmage. He's got a man coming in motion as they fake the give to Conway. Now Klein is going to try to run through some traffic because he has watched his pocket momentarily collapse, but that really just opened things up as he was able to go over the 35 and all the way down to the 33 for a 5-yard pickup.
Ronan Palmer along with looked like P.J. London coming up from his safety position on that tackle.
And
but again, not until after a nice game by Klein.
2nd down and 5, and back on the field come the Blue Ridge defenders, having spent so much of this third quarter in the defensive position and in high-anxiety situations, most of it being played in their own territory now as Klein wants to try to run to the left. That's that area that was vacated by Muncie, but those who succeeded him are coming up and really filling holes and forcing a loss.
Well, Ryan Cox along with Tyson Savage doing a good job from his nose position, sliding down the line of scrimmage and just blocking up those gaps. Herschel Gregg as well coming in with a nice tackle, gang tackling by Blue Ridge on that carry by Klein.
3rd down about 6 as the shotgun snap is had. Klein with time going toward Flores in the end zone, but it's incomplete. And there's no flag. I think they're going to suggest that was uncatchable.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure exactly why anybody was wrapping him up. Kern?
Yeah, it was tight coverage getting into the end zone. You can hear the fans booing. There was really no reason for Kern to go up into his grill like that and bring him down.
So the Yellowjackets might have just gotten away with one, and I don't know what Payson might be thinking about. It's a lot of movement coming on and off of the sideline. Dominguez would be attempting somewhere in the neighborhood. Oh, they're going to punt this away. Conway is back.
I would look for a fake here.
As he has the snap, and no, he does want to run with it. No, he's going to wind up and try to throw this to a wide open receiver down to the 20, but it's fumbled and eventually taken back by Blue Ridge. Well, there's a lot to unpack.
They're going to say he was down?
I think that they're going to suggest he was down. Or
then why are they marking it where Blue Ridge picked it up? That's crazy. I had a feeling they would go with a fake there.
Well,
why are they marking it where the Blue Ridge guy picked it up?
This is very confusing. So we just watched the replay, and it looked like the ball was coming out before he was down. Are they going to say it was recovered out of bounds? I think I overheard. Okay, so there the completion between Conway and Josh Wright has this one in the red zone for the Longhorns. Is Klein again going to try to find some space going over the left, and there's that size again as a flag comes out at the end of the play after he runs over Cox. But let's see what this flag is.
Well, there's great power there by Klein moving up into the middle of the line. Again, just totally different runner in the second half than what we saw from him in the first half.
Personal foul, face mask, defense. First down and 10, half the distance to the goal line.
It might have been Kern as he got right up into that face mask. So there was a gain of 7 on the run, and now the personal foul will go half the distance to the goal line. Don't need to get this play off to the Longhorns as there's just 8 seconds remaining in the quarter, but it looks like they're poised and ready as the snap is set. They're going with Alcorta, who's going to be met at the line by Palmer and dropped for no gain, but the Longhorns are poised to try to tie this up to begin the fourth quarter as they're going to be looking at 2nd and goal, having held the football for almost the entirety of the third quarter and are only trailing now 16-9 with 1 quarter to play, trying to lock up the East Region Championship. It's going to be a big one for the final 12, and we'll have it for you after this at Shola Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
Who sells the #1 truck in America? Sholo Ford. That's right. Not only do they sell it, Sholo Ford is the best place to buy it. Why? Guy Hatch guarantees it. In fact, he guarantees you'll get the best deal on your next Ford car, van, or SUV as well. It doesn't matter what you buy. Sholo Ford has the best deal. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
You've been there waiting forever at the gas station for the guy to free up so we can fill up your propane tank. Or worse, when the only qualified propane technician decided to stay home that day. Yep, you've been there and I have too. That's why now I get my propane from Ace Hardware every time. You get Ace Hardware's world-famous customer service when you stop in for propane. That's right, you get in, you get out, and you get great propane and everything else. From Ace Hardware at their locations in Pine Top and Heber. Ace Hardware is proud to support White Mountain Sports.
Here's your audio, guys.
All right, Klein goes under center. He's going to try to keep going over the left side of the line. He's in the end zone for the touchdown. Klein goes 2 yards by attacking the left side of the line. That's where Muncie seemed to have been playing, and since he has left, it has been a much different rushing attack for the Longhorns, who have picked up a touchdown after converting on a faked punt, and that comes after the 3rd Blue Ridge fumble, and they are an extra point away for having tied it up. Dominguez set to kick this one up and away, and it is good to make it now 16-16 with 11:55 to go here in the fourth quarter. And it took a while. It took a long while, punt. But what has been so much different between these two offensive approaches for the Longhorns relative between the first and the second half?
Well, Klein got going, and I don't know, obviously it's not anything by design, you would think, at least, for him to be so flat in that first half. We even said he looked a little passive at times, or maybe nervous or something, but here in this second half, he's just being much more aggressive. He's much quicker and stronger when he hits the line of scrimmage, and they're finding room for him. He's getting beyond the linebackers in a lot of cases too, whereas in the first half, between the defensive line and the linebackers, they were keeping him seamed up close to the line of scrimmage, but they're just doing a much, much better job of getting him outside and finding lanes for him to run into. And clearly the momentum, the mental momentum is certainly with Payson right now.
Mitchell, who has been victim of one of these strip that the Longhorns have been able to approach two of them, really, because he dropped the opening kickoff. He's got to move far to his left. Now pick this one up on the bounce inside the 10. Now looking for some blocking help as there is a flag that comes out as he falls down at the 25. Those who are watching the stream looked at the footage that showed Muncie, who was without his helmet, as he's being kept out right now, concerns for a concussion. And that, I think, has also made a huge impact on how the Yellowjackets are able to defend, because the Longhorns have been trying to go to the left.
During the return, holding on the kicking team. 10-yard penalty. Be first down and 10 at the 15-yard line.
Now we're seeing the Yellowjackets doing everything that Payson had been doing to itself in the first half here in the second. Can't hold on to the football for very long, albeit the Longhorns were never really turning it over, but the flags are coming out, and now having tied up now at 16 on their own 15-yard line with 11 minutes and 47 seconds left. London's going to go from the shotgun. This is the only time that we've seen was at the end of the half as he fakes the give. Now pump fake as he's being surrounded, but he's going to be able to run toward the left as he stops at the 20, and now will be brought down. Come on, boy. Well, he was able to turn a big loss into a gain of 5. Well, more than that. No, he almost gained 10 yards, beg your pardon. But it took a busted play to do it, as now play is being stopped. Well, I guess he gained 8. The chain gain is kind of on the yellow brick road path towards setting us up. So makes it, though, 2nd and 4, apparently. I'm not sure if the gang and the scoreboard are in an agreement. There is a shotgun snap is had by London, looking to the right, and it bounces in and out of Wallace's hands. He would have had first down. Instead, it's incomplete to set up 3rd down and somewhere between 2 and 4 yards.
Again, another tough result on a nice pass by Blue Ridge. PJ just cutting it right down the seam there between the defenders. Hits his receiver right in the hands.
Great route.
Yeah, great route. Can't get the completion. Blue Ridge is now in the position that we had talked about maybe Payson being in the first half. You've got to match intensity with intensity, and so far Payson definitely with the advantage there.
Mitchell trying to go to the right side, and a diving effort should have enough for the first down. Push him out to the 28-yard line, and a gain of 6 is good for a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down. So there is another huge conversion on 3rd down. Last time the Yellowjackets were in this situation, though, they fumbled it away on the ensuing play. As they're again going to get bunched up at the line of scrimmage. Mitchell is the deep back in the offset eye, handed off to Galindo, who nearly drops it, and it's going to be brought down at the line of scrimmage. But they are continuing to get assailed at this point of contact.
Well, Galindo doing a good job of just hanging on to that football. The exchange between him and London from the start.
We were looking at the replay.
Nearly lost it again.
That was bad at the exchange, and may not have been Galindo's fault, as he's going to stand on London's left. Tripp's going to the right side on 2nd and 10. Short drop from London as he's looking to the right, and nearly again with Wallace, but it's in and out of his hands and incomplete.
Again, I don't know how much more perfectly you can put a pass like that. Great route, well-placed pass. And what we can't see from up here, though, is maybe if a defender's hand was in there as well. But perfectly placed pass by London.
Now, Wallace is doing a great job of getting himself open. He's just not able to complete the process, as he's going to go out wide to the right side. 3rd down and 10 from the 28-yard line. 9 minutes and 59 seconds to play, tied up at 16. Is working from the gun. London has time. Pump fake. Now looking to the right. Now back to the left. He's going to try to scramble as he's running along the line of scrimmage. Going to throw this one into no man's land. Nobody was in the vicinity but Klein. And I think that there's a holding flag waiting in the backfield, but this could also potentially be a grounding.
Well, there wasn't a receiver in the area, and the referees are talking about that now. The officials are. But that was actually a nice pocket for London.
We got another flag that comes up. Another flag has come out. I think that they're going to pile a grounding flag onto this one, too. The receiver was at least 5 yards away. So I think that that's going to be the deciding factor, because it was evident that he was not trying to get it to him. He was just trying to unload this before he was sacked. Now more conversation, and everybody with Payson huddled up around the officials. I think that they are providing all of the possibilities.
I think they'll take the...
So holding is now being called.
Blocks in the back. Offensive team, that penalty has been declined. Okay. Intentional grounding on the offensive team. Loss of down. The 4th down. 5-yard penalty.
So grounding is called. And that will make it 4th down and 15, as that is 5 yards from the spot and a loss of down. So 9 minutes and 48 seconds left, and that suddenly high-powered Payson offense set to come back onto the field as Conway is standing at the 40. London is going to kick it away. And a high snap, but he's able to go up and get it, and the pressure coming, but he's able to get it away. Now bouncing into traffic and off of one of the Yellowjackets, and will stop at the 40-yard line. So great field position now for the Longhorns, who have come out a much different team since halftime. Scored the last 16 points, and it, again, ought to be noted, punt, that Blue Ridge not able to get it into the end zone or as a field goal or anything offensively. So really,
Right.
Payson's got to be feeling really good about itself right now.
Well, that's what we talked about at halftime was, even though Blue Ridge was up 16-zip, they didn't score any of their touchdowns through their offense. And if Payson were able to somehow maneuver a comeback offensively, which they have done in the third quarter, it's going to put pressure on Blue Ridge for sure. And here Payson comes with that offense.
Klein is good on 6 of his last 8 passing attempts as he's got trips coming to the right side. Instead, he's going to run away from the left. He's got a hole. He's over midfield. That was in the open field over the 40 and finally brought down by Kern at the 30.
And again, when we saw that in the first half, Blue Ridge is able to seal off those inside gaps. Now all of a sudden, Klein is finding room in the middle. So either some kind of a blocking adjustment.
Well, there's no Muncie.
But they're going right up the middle now. That's over the nose guard and the middle linebacker. So maybe just some minor little blocking adjustment at halftime. But Payson's running game is clicking in the second half.
That Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down takes it to the 30. Here is Alcorta, who has momentarily stopped behind the line of scrimmage, but he's able to weasel his way away from that and into a little bit of a forward progress situation. They'll give him a yard.
Palmer on the tackle from the defensive line, along with looked like Slaughter, Savage as well.
Generous spot. 3-yard gain. All the way out to the 27. Flores, single man split wide on the right as trips are going to the left. Alcorta is on Klein's right, is now pressure being shown. Going to run in this direction as he hesitates now, puts his head down, charges over the 25, and is going to be stopped near the 20, pretty close to a first down, but he will be short. $114 yards now on 25 carries for Klein. He's also thrown for 98 yards. So he's back to pretty close to his ordinary production, facing 3rd down and a short 2. As now the 3 receivers are coming to the near side. That includes Conway, who's closest to the line. Flores, single man split wide left. 3rd and 2 with Klein from the shotgun, keeping this one all the way as he tries to get to the left side, but Palmer's going to bring him down to the line of scrimmage.
And again, that's Palmer just beating the block at the line of scrimmage. Ronan Palmer and able to wrap up Klein as soon as he gets there and just tosses him down. Outstanding play by the defensive end.
Palmer forces his way through all that traffic. And Dominguez looks like he's going to come out and try to give his team the lead. This should be about a 38-yarder. And they're taking a lot of time getting it set up.
Closer to 40 now with his mark.
Flores is down to try to spot, but they are taking an awful lot of time. Watching the back judges, nobody has started counting. As Dominguez now has everything set up. The snap is down, the kick is away. It's low, but it might have the distance. But it's wide to the right and not good. So they opt to try to get the lead and
that's
are not going to attempt it on 4th and 2.
Yeah, especially after doing much better with their running game.
That gives Blue Ridge possession again on the 20. 6 minutes and 54 seconds left to play, 16-16. The Longhorns have scored the last 16 points. London going to go under center with Mitchell behind him. Single receivers on either side as the handoff goes Mitchell. He's got a little bit of space as he runs over the left side, gets down to the 25, maybe the 26. Porter Flake there with the stop.
Flake along with Christensen, but again, not after a nice run by Mitchell to knock off about a 7-yard gain. So we're at 6:30 on the clock in the 4th. if Blue Ridge can sustain a drive here, that's one thing we have not seen them do offensively all football game, though, is on any drive, march down the field and put up points.
2nd and 3, handoff again. Mitchell again trying to get to the left side. He'll have him out in Mobile Auto Glass first down as he gets decked after he goes over the 30 by Shepard, but again, a 5-yard carry and enough for a first down.
Great, another good run by Mitchell, dodging tacklers early. He's got some good blocking up front. Really, had not Shepard been able to wrap him up, Mitchell would have been able to go for another 10 yards or so.
Moves the chains out to the 34. Blue Ridge bunched up at the line of scrimmage, got 3 receivers off in the slot. As London wants to go in that direction, he's keeping it as he's trying to get to the edge, turns it upfield at the 35, gets to the 40, and gains maybe another 6 yards. So they're starting to get things figured out now are the Yellowjackets.
Well, London is able to beat the edge there with some good blocking out on that edge. Gets outside. Looks like he was looking to try to cut back, and that allowed Christensen to catch up to him and drag him down after the gain of about 5.
2nd down and 5 now as the 3 blocking receivers come out to the left. Instead, London looks like he wants to try to pass. He's got to run through one tackler, gets through the arm tackle now as he's over the 30, wants to wind up and throw this to the open man upfield where it's going to be caught, brought down by Esparza at the 20-yard line.
It's number 4, Esparza on the reception. Again, careful with that reception. For a while there, it looked like he might end up dropping it, but a great scramble by London, and you can see 2 receivers actually back behind the defensive coverage.
41-yard pass now as Mitchell gets through a hole on the left, and as there was being fought for by Christensen, Mitchell able to keep both hands on the football. And now how big does that decision now by the Longhorn staff to not go for it on 4th and 2 seem? As the Yellowjackets are in the red zone, it's tied up at 16. They are threatening after that 6-yard pickup there by Mitchell. And here's a quick handoff. Now Mitchell met in the backfield as he nearly lost that one. So that one now for a narrow loss to make it 3rd down and 3.
So London will be over with his head coach, Coach London, to get the play. And we're at 4 minutes now in the football game with this 3rd down play. Big, obviously huge play. So Blue Ridge will call the timeout.
Going to be facing 3rd down and a long 2. 3 minutes and 59 seconds to play. Tied up at 16. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
At Summit Healthcare, you'll find a level of care you might not expect from a rural hospital. We've recently received 5 stars from CMS, a prestigious ranking that less than 5% of facilities in Arizona earned. Our cancer center has proven its level of advanced care with a national accreditation from the Commission on Cancer. And we continue to add more doctors and services so that you don't have to leave the mountain to find the care you need. At Summit Healthcare, we're elevating care here at home.
16 to 16, 3rd down, and it looks like it's probably closer to 3 yards than it is 2. I can't imagine that the Yellowjackets want this ball to leave London's hands. He's had some open receivers that haven't been able to hang on to it. He's had a couple of running backs who've had a hard time hanging on to it. London, who's been very crafty with his feet.
Well, he's going to go up under center. Payson is going to crowd the line of scrimmage in the box, but they find Mitchell off that right tackle, and he's able to bounce outside. Great run by him to get the first down for Blue Ridge.
That's the danger with that cover 0 is if you get through the first round, you're already in the 2nd level. And that's what the Yellowjackets benefit from there.
Well, in Blue Ridge, if you notice, quick snap, too. They had the play called, of course, ready to go.
So 1st and goal from the 9, as again going with Mitchell, who's this time going to try to find some room going up the middle as he gets over the 5-yard line and down to the 4. 5-yard pickup to make it 2nd and goal. Now the clock becoming a huge factor. The Longhorns have all their timeouts. The Yellowjackets trying to score their first offensive points. 3 minutes and 20 seconds left, the clock ticking. 2nd down and goal from the 3, and the Yellowjackets trying to use as much time as possible. Now at the line of scrimmage with that power I formation. Handoff again goes to Mitchell, who's going to this time be stopped at the line of scrimmage for no gain. Well, maybe he got 2 yards.
They're going to put him at about the 1, it looks like. Well, maybe not even that. They're still at about the 2-yard line, it looks like. Or the 3-yard line.
3rd and goal, already to the line of scrimmage as London hands it off, and stopped in the backfield is Mitchell. So it's going to be put on London's foot as Flores was able to get into the backfield.
Well, if there's any good thing about that play, that's going to leave Blue Ridge in the middle of the field, or close to the middle of the field, and they will bring out the kick team, Will Blue Ridge. Of course, on 4th down. And a great penetration by Payson on this running play. They submarine the line, and they are able to get a couple of defenders deep in the backfield.
Blue Ridge is taking a lot of time.
They're trying to let the clock burn down. They're close to 2 minutes right now. They may.
All right. So this is going to be a 21-yarder. As London waiting to see somebody start counting off, and now it starts, and he calls timeout. So this will be the final Yellow Jacket timeout, and it occurs with 1 minute and 40 seconds left. This is well within London's range. But boy howdy, it's coming at a high anxiety moment of the ballgame.
Well, and of course, execution on all the elements here is pretty critical. You got to have a good snap, good placement, good kick. Of course, they practice this stuff, but comes down to these kinds of plays.
So 16 all, and this drive started when Payson had opted to try for a field goal rather than go for it on 4th and 2. In fairness to the Longhorns, the play that they probably would have liked to have called on 4th and 2 was run on 3rd and 2 and was shut down.
Right.
So it probably seemed as if the best option. Furthermore, they had no reason to believe that the defense would hemorrhage as they had. And again, fairness to the Payson defense, 41 yards gained on a busted play from London, who looked like he was nearly sacked. Instead was able to find Reese Esparza. So back comes London. The holder will be Mitchell. Trying to attempt with the ball to be set just outside the 10-yard line. Looking for the lead. As the snap is down, the kick is away. It is up, and it is good. So the Longhorns will have a minute and 36 seconds to try to do something after scoring 16 points unanswered. They have all of their timeouts. And the one thing that they probably don't have going for them is outside of another play that looked like it was or had just as much of a likelihood to be picked off and instead wound up going for 59 yards between Klein and Ortiz. They have not shown a lot of big playability. But they do have a couple of horses out there in Trevor Klein and Jesse Conway. Conway at this point not yet been a factor. And I think a lot of the credit for that has to be Jimmy Wallace, as he's been given some single coverage responsibilities out there. Conway, who is going to go back and get ready to receive this kick, is standing at the 10. Now, he also had a little bit of an adventurous reception on one that he wound up inadvertently downing at the 5. So a lot of possibilities now swirling just based on the history of this ball game alone. London's going to tee it up at the 40 and get ready to kick it off. Again, a minute and 36 seconds to work with. And Blue Ridge just now having put its first offensive points on the board, leading 19-16. London's got it ready, and he's on the approach. He puts this one down. It's a low liner and returnable. Had it at the 10. Here comes Conway. He's looking for some blockers. Bounces it towards the left. Now steps away from one tackler. He's at the 35 and all the way down at that 35-yard line after Wallace is able to get the stop. But it's good field position now for the Longhorns as Klein comes out having refound his mojo here in the second half. You figure they probably got to get it at least 50 yards upfield to feel as if Dominguez is going to be within his range.
Defensively, Blue Ridge, of course, not wanting to give up any big plays as well with 1:28 left on the clock. You want to force Payson to try to run plays and burn up that clock on the defensive side.
Klein working from the shotgun. Trips coming to the short side of the field on the near sideline. Slaps and asks for the football. He's going to look deep. He's got a man going into single coverage again. As Flores was going to be poking that one away. As Kern was back and in defense.
That was good defense by, was it Kern or Mitch Kern? But you can see the receiver come in and actually give him a shove. I don't know if we have a replay on that, but great job by Kern, seal off the lane to try to get to the ball.
All right, so going downfield here on 1st and 10, now 2nd and 10, setting the trips going out. No, two receivers on either side. Conway on the far side of the field. Now Klein's going to call for himself as he's going to be bottled up.
Tyson Savage and Herschel Gregg staying home. Mitchell Heisner, that's Herschel Gregg,
Second charge
Sealing off
timeout,
the
Payson.
inside.
No, Payson only had 2 timeouts, and they just used one of them. 2nd down and 9 following this timeout, trailing 19-16. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
Who sells the #1 truck in America? Sholo Ford. That's right. Not only do they sell it, Sholo Ford is the best place to buy it. Why? Guy Hatch guarantees it. In fact, he guarantees you'll get the best deal on your next Ford car, van, or SUV as well. It doesn't matter what you buy. Sholo Ford has the best deal. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
19-16, and a correction was just made as Payson will have 2 timeouts. That was just the first timeout. Trips going to the left, facing 3rd down and 9. Klein rolling to his left, trying to let some receivers get upfield as he's going to throw this into traffic and nearly completed as Mitchell was defending. That was Shepard who is open.
Well, both defenders step out in front of the lane. It leaves the receiver behind them. So it's a good thing that they were able to shut down that pass lane. Also, good pressure from Cox, who's spying on the quarterback, Klein. So as soon as Klein rolls out, Cox is just making a beeline for him, putting pressure on him.
So it's come down to this. Payson, who checks in as 13 in the power rankings, can assure itself a trip to state if it can somehow pick up these 9 yards and extend the ball game. Klein now dropping back, looking over the middle where it's going to be incomplete, but a flag comes out, and this should be an interference on Wallace.
I know I'm not supposed to sound like a fan, but I thought that was great defensive coverage by Blue Ridge. There is contact.
Personal foul, blindside block, Payson.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so never mind. I thought they were calling the pass interference, and it's going to end up being a blindside block on Payson.
Well, in fairness, we saw the replay, and Wallace was interfering.
Personal foul, blindside block on Payson. That penalty has been declined. 1st down and 10, Blue Ridge.
So Blue Ridge now, despite itself, is ready to at least invoke a tie and potential tie breakers, but Snowflake has the superior conference winning percentage, and if the Lobos, who are leading 14-0 at halftime, have been able to hold on, it seems as if Snowflake will win the East. And taking a quick moment to make sure that everybody is on the field as they should be. London. Payson's asked everybody to hold up as he wants an explanation. I'm not sure what he hopes to accomplish, because even if they were somehow convinced to pick up that flag, it's an incomplete pass and turnover on downs. Now, London is getting an explanation from Yazzie.
They have 2.
I don't know what just happened. Okay, so maybe checking to see how many timeouts they have, as the Longhorns have 2. Longhorns are going to call timeout after Blue Ridge takes this knee, as London is under center and is able to do it, and a quick timeout is called. But they can only now stop. Well, eventually the clock does stop, and now they can only do so one more time. So they're hoping for some sort of fumble.
Timeout, Payson, second charge timeout.
But as long as it's going to remain in London's hands, I think that the Yellowjackets and their fans are feeling confident that the fumble is not going to occur. Yellowjackets have scored 3 offensive points, but were able to do all sorts of things defensively to get all up into Klein's head, as he was only able to convert on 1 pass in his first 7, and that was a little bit of a busted play. 59 yards he went on that one. And he wasn't able to run for much either, as he had only rushed for 5 yards on 12 carries in the first half, and I think that all the credit for that needs to go toward the Blue Ridge defense.
Yep.
Payson right now kicking itself because it just took him 2 quarters to get going. Again in the victory formation as London takes that snap And a quick timeout taken by the Longhorns, but they can't do it anymore after that.
Timeout. Payson, third charge timeout, final.
So they have to snap it one more time. Well, I think that they've put them into a situation where they have to snap it twice more. But Blue Ridge, after this snap, can go ahead and take a 5-yard delay of game penalty and have to go back. So there's the last one, and the last knee, I should say. That makes it 4th down, and the ball is set. So Blue Ridge has to run a play. And the Longhorns are approaching the line, ready to do something.
Well, they may take the penalty here as well. They don't have any timeouts left.
Nobody has any more timeouts, so Yellowjackets looking to the sideline, asking, what do you want us to do?
Take the penalty to allow the clock to get down. That'll take the clock down to 14 seconds.
Dead ball, delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty,
right, so
repeat 4th down.
5-yard delay of game penalty, and Conway is going to wait for a punt from London with 14 seconds to go.
Blue Ridge, of course, needs to make sure they can get this off cleanly. Payson will certainly want to apply pressure here. And we've seen them on previous punts, Blue Ridge, London in particular, as the punter, get pressure pretty consistently from some of these Payson rushers. So Payson certainly is going to be in a situation here where they're going to try to get to London.
London is
short. It's going to be a short snap.
Very, very close to the line. He's about 9 yards away from the line of scrimmage as he has the snap. And there's pressure, but he's able to get it away. And this one is angling out of bounds and will bounce that way with 8 seconds left. So there is a final gasp that the Longhorns can make, trailing 19-16. But whatever they do, they're going to have to get it into the end zone. There's no way that they're going to be able to attempt any kind of field goal to tie. I would imagine with 8 seconds left, you can try to get about 10 yards. Well, that's going to make it so that you need to get Aaron Rodgers out there to try to throw it into the end zone.
Or some sort of hook and ladder play or something. Of course, Blue Ridge in a prevent of all prevents here.
Klein's coming out.
8 guys 30 yards away from the line of scrimmage on defense.
Got trips going to the left. Alcorta now moves in that direction as Klein goes off to the left and fires a pass that's caught and out of bounds with 2 seconds left. So they were able to pick up a bunch of those yards, but now it has come down to this. Needing to get it into the end zone to make certain that there is not going to be any question about what happens once the first-round pairings are announced. Again, it is seemingly the case that Payson is safely into the field of 16, but you never want to have to wonder. But they're going to have to do something that is beyond the usual to make certain that they don't have to wonder. As they trail 3, having gone for it on 4th and 2 and gone for a field goal, beg your pardon, rather than going for the first down when the offense seemed like it was in total control. And instead watched as Blue Ridge kick the go-ahead field goal on the ensuing possession. So they're going to move out 2 receivers on either side. Man in motion comes off as they hand it off to Conway as he is going to try to get something set up, looking for a little bit of help as he steps around some tacklers, gets to the 30, he's over to the near sideline of the 45 before eventually being punched out at midfield, and the Yellowjackets will hold on and win 19-16. And right now the Longhorns filled with a little bit of what might have been. Final score, 19-16. We will start our conversation after this. It's Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on Night Talk 106.7 and NightTalk1067.com.
All right, you're clear. How long you want?
4 minutes.
4 minutes. Who sells the #1 truck in America? Sholo Ford. That's right. Not only do they sell it, Sholo Ford is the best place to buy it. Why? Guy Hatch guarantees it. In fact, he guarantees you'll get the best deal on your next Ford car, van, or SUV as well. It doesn't matter what you buy. Sholo Ford has the best deal. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
You've been there waiting forever at the gas station for the guy to free up so he can fill up your propane tank. Or worse, when the only qualified propane technician decided to stay home that day. Yep, you've been there and I have too. That's why now I get my propane from Ace Hardware every time. You get Ace Hardware's world-famous customer service when you stop in for propane. That's right, you get in, you get out, and you get a great deal on propane and everything else. From Ace Hardware at their locations in Pine Top and Heber. Ace Hardware is proud to support White Mountain Sports.
Orthodontist Dr. Joshua Beeler has been providing family-friendly orthodontics in Sholo and the entire White Mountains since 2006. If you need braces, stop in and see the friendly folks at Beeler Orthodontics and meet their professional staff. Dr. Beeler and his team have the latest in orthodontics technology, and they work with each patient individually to custom tailor the most effective treatment plan for the best results. Beeler Orthodontics is a proud sponsor of high school sports. Beeler Orthodontics, live to smile, love your smile.
When you think glass, think Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. Deemer's Glass offers the best selection of quality glass with affordable prices. They do full home window packages, replacement windows, custom shower doors and enclosures, custom mirrors in many shapes, styles, and colors, glass doors and hardware, commercial glass for buildings and offices, skylights, screens, fire-rated glass for your fireplace or stove, window film, and more. Visit Deemer's Glass today on Porter Mountain Road in Lakeside or call 1-888-GLASSMAN.
Want to go fishing? Head to Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. They have fishing supplies, outdoor fishing attire, and fishing gear, plus all kinds of bait including live worms, flies, and lures. The staff are experienced anglers, and they can advise you on what you need, where to go, and what type of bait the fish are biting on. Plus, pick up your fishing, camping, and boat permits. When you think fishing, think Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. Located on Highway 260, 1 mile before the casino.
I got this. Don't take time out of your busy day. Let Mountain Mobile Auto Glass come to you. All our technicians are certified by the National Auto Glass Safety Council. Mountain Mobile Auto Glass will give you $50 cash, free movie passes, and free dinner.
536-5972. Mountain Mobile Auto Glass, cash back to you.
I chose MPC because it offers good quality education. Ultimately, I want to be a nurse anesthetist. This is the start to that path. And instructors want you to succeed, which is really helpful. I've learned a lot so far in just 1 semester. It's been kind of crazy how much I've learned. Northland Pioneer College is transforming my life by helping me achieve my goals in my career.
I chose welding because
15 seconds.
there's always going to be a
15.
job and you can go so many different directions. I chose welding because there's always going to be a job and you can go so many different directions within it. The professors helped me so much with getting my skill level up to where it needs to be and helping me progress in the ways that I want to. It teaches you really to be job ready, having a good attitude, and still working hard. NPC has transformed my life by giving me a skill and a trade that I can take with me wherever I go.
As we again have 19-16, Blue Ridge's quarterback, PJ London, has joined Seafield correspondent Ron Everingham on the field.
PJ, what a great game you guys had out there. It was a tale of two halves. First half, you guys had the advantage, but Payson came out and did something different. Second half, how did you see it?
Yeah, they didn't really do anything different. I don't know if we were ready for that second half, but we did have a great first half. But we just have to learn to have a better second half, and we will over the practice this week.
You threw a lot of great balls that receivers just weren't able to quite handle. Is that due to the cold, or what do you think?
I don't know. It might have been due to the cold, but I don't know. Some of them were good passes, but some of them weren't the best. But I can't really control them, so I can only control myself.
That's right. So tell me a little bit about the loss of Dimitri the second half. How big is that for that defensive line, and how did that play a difference?
Yeah, Dimitri, he did good that first half, and when he went out, you could tell we were down a little bit. But the linemen that came in for him stepped up, and we had to give kudos to them too.
So offense scores 3 points, and that was a big 3 points. How nervous were you on that field goal?
Oh, I was super nervous, but I knew I just stick to my fundamentals. I would have made it.
All right, well, good game. Congratulations, bud. Proud of you, and congratulations to you guys. Back up to you guys. Thanks, PJ.
All right, thank you, Ron. Thank you, PJ, and congratulations on the win. As we will take care of a lot of our big ones, especially the Beeler Orthodontics straight line play of the game. Beeler Orthodontics, lift, smile, love your smile. And there was a lot of big ones, but like Ron mentioned, there's such a different ball game. First half transitioning to the second half, but I think that we probably got to go with the missed field goal when Payson elected to not go for it on 4th and 2. And it's kind of unfortunate in a ball game where there were so many plays that were made by so many different players on both sides of the ball that you got to highlight something that is kind of a negative on one of them, but that really was the deciding factor in the ball game. The Longhorns elected to not go for it.
Right, and in some respects maybe a little surprising that they did elect to go with the field goal 4th and 2 after having really reestablished that running game in that second half, but it's a coach's decision obviously, but had they made that field goal, of course, it's hard to know what would happen, but it certainly would get more of the momentum on the Payson side.
So that will be Beeler's Orthodontics straight line play of the game. Beeler's Orthodontics, lift a smile, love your smile, as we now look down at the Deemer's glass shattering hit of the game. Need glass for your home or business. Deemer's Glass in Lakeside is hands down the best place to call. Quality glass at affordable prices. Deemer's Glass, call 1-888-GLASSMAN. And this is another big one where we have so many to look for, but I think that the one we got to look at is the last fumble that was forced when Galindo had the ball dislodged from him. We were never able to see exactly who was there to strip that away or recover it, but that looked like that was going to firmly put this into at least Payson's momentum field. But though they were able to get some points out of it, we're not able to do as much as they had hoped, as that will be the Deemer's glass shattering hit of the game. Deemer's Glass is your place for glass for your home or business. Hands down the best place to call. Quality glass at affordable prices. Deemer's Glass, call 1-888-GLASSMAN, as we're hoping that we can get Coach London on there, but as we wait to see if that will happen, we're going to look at the Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports player of the game. If you're looking for any kind of hiking, hunting, fishing, camping gear on the mountain, go to Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports at south of Pine Top on Highway 260. We had a spirited debate about this one, but I wound up suggesting what we need to consider the job that Jim Wallace did, spending 4 quarters in coverage, moving the field. He was always defending the top receiver for the Longhorns, and Jesse Conway, and he, again, not staying on one side of the field. They had him matched up. They were going to use Wallace to make sure that Conway didn't get anything going. Conway catches 85 yards per game, and he's held to 2 catches for 4 yards, and I think that ultimately is the deciding factor, because really it was up to Klein to do things without his partner in crime that he really wanted to work with, and it was almost exclusively because of the job that Wallace did defending him.
Well, they knew Blue Ridge, of course, coming into the football game tonight that the 2 big weapons for Payson offensively would be Klein and Conway, and the defense collectively in that first half did a great job of shutting them both down, including Klein. Klein then, of course, in the second half found ways to break through, open up that running game that he's so powerful with. But what remained consistent, as you mentioned, is Conway just never really was a factor in the game all night tonight. So
Wallace is the Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports player of the game. Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports, the best place with the best selection of hiking, fishing, camping around the mountain. Go to Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports south of Pine Top on Highway 260, as we're waiting to see if Coach London is here. We have not been able to gather him up. So we'll take a quick look at some numbers then, as P.J. London winds up only completing 7 of 16 passes for 92 yards. But one of the other plays that we considered for the Beeler Orthodontics play of the game was the 41-yard strike that he had when he looked like he was nearly sacked. Instead was able to find Reese Esparza, who finished with just 1 catch for 41 yards. That set up the game-winning field goal, as London so often was able to extend plays with his feet. And that one, a big one, as he was able to get the 41-yard strike to extend not just the play but the ball game and set himself up for the game-winning field goal. But he had 92 yards passing, 33 yards running on 10 carries. A lot of that is brought down because of some sacks, although some of those were a little bit of questionable decisions that he'd made, really running away from the line of scrimmage. Otherwise, Damon Mitchell had 82 yards on 22 carries, but 2 costly fumbles. And not a lot of rushing production to talk about outside of those 2. The receivers were pretty spread around there by London. And we already talked about the strike that he had with the Esparza, 3 catches for 32 yards as he connected with Damon Mitchell. Wallace had 1 catch for 3 yards. Cox had 11 yards on 1 catch, and Galindo had 6 on 1 catch. As we quickly look over at the Payson side, Trevor Klein was 8 of 19 for 98 yards, and he also rushed 27 times for 116 yards, but was not able to really get a consistent passing attack going. 59 yards on his first completion to Ortiz. Otherwise, he was able to hit Kyle Shepard 3 times for 17 yards. Trevor Flores had 1 catch. It was a touchdown for 20 yards, but the big one was Jesse Conway's 2 catches for 4 yards, as we are joined now by Coach London. And, Coach, we had made Jimmy Wallace our Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports Player of the Game almost entirely because of the job he did defending Conway and denying him a lot of receptions. How would you say we did in determining that, and what did he do so well defensively?
Well, I think defensively it was a team effort. Payson is a tremendous football team, and they had the ability to hurt us with Klein running or by throwing the ball. And so we asked a lot of our perimeter players, and they did a great job. And I can't argue with Jimmy as a choice.
What was the key to defending Klein's rushing attack in the first half?
Well, Coach Girardi, our defensive coordinator, he had a great plan on putting people where they needed to be. And it was just, I think, the emotion and effort that our kids put forth. And if you saw when we shut him down, it was gang tackling, kids wrapping up, running their feet. It was a team effort.
We saw against Sholo, Payson really trying to exploit the left side of its line, and it looked like they wanted to do that in the first half, but then didn't have any success. After your team lost Muncie, it seemed as if things started to open up all over the line, not necessarily just going to the left side. How big of a loss was that for you?
Well, he was playing a tremendous game, and he was playing hard, and losing him definitely was a setback. But you know, you play this game and you have to roll people in, and that's what we did. And I think one of the things is, you know, we just don't have a lot of depth, so we have a lot of kids that play both ways, and over the course of a game, it's tough to keep that 100% intensity every snap.
How do you like your quarterback?
Well, he's all right. He can stay at the house tonight.
He only throws for 92 yards. He got off to a hot start, but it seemed as if he was really being forced to use his feet to extend plays, and that was best illustrated in that 41-yard strike he had with the Esparza. Is that really the biggest thing that he brings to the ball game, is his ability to avoid tacklers in the backfield and just extend plays while keeping his eyes downfield?
Well, I mean, you know, he does a lot of things for us. You know, Payson's defensive front was very physical, and they're very fast and very agile, and we knew that you know, we were going to have to play really, really well to move the ball, and we had trouble with it all night. Fortunately, we got a drive in the end of the fourth quarter when we needed it, and I will say for number 10, he showed a lot of poise putting that ball through the uprights. It was a beautiful thing to see.
So how do you like your team going into state?
Well, it's like I told the boys in the locker room, you know, you can watch a team kind of mature before your eyes in a situation like tonight, playing a great football team like we were, all the mistakes that we made, and refusing to roll over, finding a way to take care of business and get the win. I think it's a good confidence builder. The boys are excited, and we're just, you know, we're happy. We've done everything we could to set ourselves up for the playoffs, and now we'll see what happens and see how long we can play.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on the win, and thanks for spending some time with us.
Absolutely. Thank you.
This is Coach London talking about his team 19-16 win as they are able to come to Payson and pick up the W, as we now hope the punt's coming back in so we can. Oh, I think that might be it, as the Yellowjackets are able to get the 19-16 win, and after this it's going to be well, we don't know where we're going to be because the pairings have not yet been announced, but as soon as we figure that out, you can check us out at iTalk 106.7 and find out which game we're going to be bringing to you. As for Punt Cooley, I'm Derek Palmer, and everybody in the truck. Our last call here at Payson High School is 19-16, and we look forward to bringing you some state tournament action next week here on Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk.
This has been Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 KNKI Pine Top and iTalk1067.com. Brought to you in part by Northland Pioneer College, Ace Hardware of the White Mountains, Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport, Beamer's Glass, Beeler Orthodontics, Summit Regional Medical Center, Octopus Car Wash, Mountain Mobile Auto Glass, and Little Bluebird Studios. This broadcast has been a copyrighted production of iTalk 106.7 and Country Mountain Airwaves, a Kopaniki communication station. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or use of this broadcast without expressed written consent of iTalk 106.7 or Country Mountain Airwaves is strictly prohibited. For more information on this game and other games around the region, go to iTalk1067.com.